We will start with Prince Harry. Won a big victory against British tabloid The Sun's publisher, receiving a full and unequivocal apology from News Group Newspapers, or NGM.
We have it.
I'd like to apologize
for intruding on his private life. And they admitted to wrongdoing from 1996 to 2011.
Yeah.
That's a huge chunk of time. And they reportedly agreed to pay an 8-figure sum for substantial damages covering Harry's damages and legal fees.
We're very sorry and we shan't do it again.
NGN also apologized for similar intrusion into Princess Diana's private life during Harry's younger years, acknowledging the distress caused to the Duke and the damage inflicted on relationships, friendships, and family.
The notorious British tabloids for hacking into phones and things of that nature. Stuff like that goes on here as well, but their laws are a little bit more aggressive when it comes to fighting it.
The Duke of Sussex's lawyer, David Sherborne, called it a monumental victory, accusing NGN of obstructing justice. Prince Harry's long-running battle with NGN began in 2020 with accusations that the Sun unlawfully obtained phone records of Harry's then-girlfriend, Chelsea Davy, in 2005. While that case did not get Harry anywhere, he was later allowed by the courts to take legal action against NGN owner Rupert Murdoch for turning a blind eye to illegal phone hacking accusations and claims private investigators targeted Harry and his family.
That's it.
8-figure payout.
He hired the British Marty Singer.
So good for him. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have asked a judge to issue a gag order against Justin Baldani's lawyer, Brian Friedman. They accuse him of engaging in a harassing and retaliatory media campaign. The couple claims that Friedman violated court rules by making public statements that could prejudice a jury, including releasing unedited footage from Lively and Baldani's movie It Ends With Us. Baldani's team says that it's unbelievable that Lively wants a gag order while allegedly running a takedown campaign against him.
Man, this is getting so dirty. Here's the deal. Leading up to a case, this is a case that's being kind of tried and it hasn't even started yet. How can you gag someone from just speaking their mind?
What's the case, by the way?
Well, it's not gagging someone from speaking their mind. They're posting that footage, and that's what they want the gag order on.
That's still like a First Amendment. You can post footage that maybe if the footage is legally. I don't know.
Well, I mean, this lawsuit is already happening, right? So, I would assume that if it falls under that, then
maybe.
they can tell you to,
I'm pre-med.
In keeping the integrity of the case, it would be in the best interest of the case to not reveal this stuff because you want a jury to not be. You want to be able to have a jury pool.
Absolutely. I would say though that in the process of selecting the jury, you would say, would this sway you? They would have the opportunity to see if they had been tainted. I like that word.
Right.
by the evidence. So we'll see. Maybe we should defend them.
Lively, meanwhile, also alleges the recently released footage supports her initial complaint of sexual harassment against Baldani. He denies her allegations and is countersued for $400 million, alleging a defamation of civil extortion.
Living in that world must be a friggin' nightmare.
So connected to that, I have another story here. So as this drama unfolds, one key player is opting out, at least on social media. Colleen Hoover, the author of the novel that the movie was based on, is apparently deactivated. Her Instagram account, Hoover has been public with her story and support of Blake Lively, writing via her Instagram story, Blake Lively, you have been nothing but honest, kind, supportive, and patient since the day we met. Thank you for being exactly the human that you are. Never change, never wilt, she said. So,
hey, girl. Hey, Kathy, have you read any of her other stuff? Or
No,
did you read this?
I did not read this one. I loved the movie, but I did not read the book. But I mean, a lot of my friends, they love her, and they love all of her books.
I know people. You were a big fan of the movie, yes, Preston?
I thought it was, so Kathy said it was one of the greatest movies she's ever seen. So I'm like, all right, I'll watch this. And I watch it. I'm like, okay, this is not the greatest movie I've ever seen. It was really compelling.
Okay.
Very interesting. It was well done. I liked it.
Yeah, the
most
way
definitely.
Is it sleeping with the enemy compelling, or is
no, not like that at all.
It's the way they tell the story, and then what you find out at the end, and how you kind of go back and see how the story was told, because you see it one way and then you see it a different way.
Exactly.
Oh, like a Rashomon kind of approach.
So I don't know what that means.
Okay.
So the film work in it makes you question it as
Yeah.
it's going along.
Oh,
and
all right. That's interesting.
And then you're like, oh, okay. It's you got to experience it for yourself. So I thought it was interesting in that regard.
Noah didn't part the Red Sea.
No, he didn't. Did he?
No, he did not.
So let's see what else we have here for you. So I'm not familiar with the show Bling Empire New York, but one of the stars, Lin Ban, died a month after undergoing emergency brain surgery following a ski accident.
Man,
In a post on her Instagram account, her son Sebastian wrote, "My mom passed away on Monday. I know she wanted to share her journey after her accident and brain surgery. So I thought she would appreciate one last post sharing the news to people who support her. She was only 51 years old.
It sucks. Would skiing? I think skiing would be much safer if they could get it off the mountains.
Maybe. So that's terrible news. Let's see what else I have that's lighter than that. Okay, Lin-Manuel Miranda, insanely talented.
Yeah.
You would think he'd have all sorts of ins when it was determined that the Broadway musical would be adapted to a movie, but you'd be wrong about that, and it wasn't for lack of trying. So the Hamilton creator had been tweeting about his desire for a role since 2016 in Wicked. Director John M. Chu said in Wicked Digital Edition commentary that Miranda called him many times looking for a part, a very specific part. He wanted to play the Munchkinland citizen who at the beginning of the movie asks Glinda of Elphaba, "Is it true that you were her friend?" The two had worked together in the Heights, and
Right.
so you think for sure. But no, Chu said that he thought Miranda in a cameo would be too distracting to the film.
He'd probably
Which
be
it
right.
might be.
Yeah. Well, listen, this director, he also did Crazy Rich Asians and did this, and he's in both movies. He's good with the camera, man. And he's very talented. So I think he's probably right. Go with the instinct.
Yeah, probably.
Has Lin-Manuel Miranda threatened to kill him?
No, not yet. So there's still time for that. So this is interesting. When Harry Met Sally stars Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal shared a mysterious post on Instagram teasing, and I quote, "It's finally happening. We're reuniting for something iconic. Can't wait to show you all soon." And while an announcement like that alone is exciting, what's sending rom-com fans wild is a picture of the duo. And it's set with them sitting on a brown couch in front of floral wallpaper that looks remarkably similar to the final scenes in the 1989 film. Now, some fans, and this is probably right, are thinking that they are teaming up for an ad of some sort.
That's what I'm thinking as well for the Super Bowl.
Maybe, yeah, because a film, we probably would have heard rumblings about that for a while
I don't
now.
see her doing that.
And I don't see her doing that either, Kath, but it would be pretty awesome. And then again, maybe not. I mean, so I get excited when I hear about a sequel to something that happened. It was a long time ago.
And then you
a
think
beloved
better of
movie,
it, yeah.
And then and then it comes out and it's like, no, we probably should have just left it as is.
These delightful vignettes in When Harry Met Sally, when they were talking to the couples who'd been together for a long time. It was just a wonderful way to frame the movie.
I've been married 55 years.
Yeah.
I love all of those little vignettes. He was on Colbert a few weeks ago promoting that TV show that he's on called Before.
Yes.
And Colbert asked him about When Harry Met Sally, and Billy Crystal got up and did the speech where he goes to see her on New Year's Eve, and I want to spend the rest of my life, and he does it right into the camera. And so I don't think that either one of them wants to shy away from that, and I think that they embrace it. But I can't see them doing a sequel to that movie,
By the way, that show,
Before?
I watched the first episode and it didn't draw me in enough.
Okay.
Have you heard anything about it? Okay.
It is. I know that it is darker and that it is. It's dramatic and
very
very
much
dramatic,
so.
and so that it has sort of it seems to have some sort of quasi paranormal
Supernatural thing. Yeah,
It's
going
on Apple, though, right?
It is.
I kind of trust that place.
You trust them?
Yeah, so I'd forgotten that I'd watched that first episode, and I need to go back and
That's a
maybe
rage.
spend a little bit more time.
So
with
good
it.
you'll forget it.
So people are hoping that maybe they'll do a movie. It remains to be seen, but I think that the Super Bowl ad thing is probably a better fit for that. So it's been 10 years since The Accountant captivated audience with its action, compelling premise, and complex characters. And now the highly anticipated sequel, The Accountant 2, is going to have its world premiere.
Who is your accountant?
It's going to have a world premiere at the 2025 South by Southwest Film Festival. That's coming up March 8th. The theatrical release is set for April 25th.
That was an out of left field movie that I'm like, this is really good.
I liked it
I
a
had
lot.
heard nothing about it. Yeah.
I've only watched it one time. I need to go back and see it again because I did really enjoy it. Ben Affleck returns as Christian Wolf, joined by John Barenthal as his brother, Brax. The official synopsis reads, Christian Wolf is brought out of hiding after someone close to them is killed by unknown assassins. To solve the murder, Wolf must recruit the help of his estranged but highly lethal brother, Brax. The first installment of the action flick followed a Christian Wolf, forensic accountant who works for criminals while using a small town office as his front. His life changes when the Treasury Department goes after him, just as he uncovers a massive conspiracy at a robotics company.
They're working on a shoot-off or a spin-off series called The Notary Republic, which will be very interesting.
They kill people with that little seal that they have.
Look, who killed him? The seal's right on his forehead.
Yeah. We got another one here. They left his mark.
Yeah.
Let's
his
zoom
calling
in on the
card, yeah.
forehead.
He's
The
a
Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
How can we not find this guy? It's right there.
It's printed right on their forehead. George Lopez is going to do one final stand-up special. The actor and comedian is bringing his Muy Catolico to Amazon Prime Video.
That's
on,
Spanish for alveoli.
February 18th. And Lopez will touch on getting older, Latino family dynamics, superstitions, and more in the new show. He's been a staple in Hollywood for 5 decades across TV, movies, and stand-up. Some of his other stand-up specials include The Wall and It's Not Me, It's You. So this is what he says is going to be his last one.
If you see him lately, he looks like a guy who runs a bodega in Tijuana.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's a picture of him. But he was in the Blue Beetle movie. Did you see that?
I did not.
It's not very good.
Yeah.
But he's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did we talk about him walking off stage on this show, or did I just see that online? He did a comedy show within the last few months, and I don't remember what the context of me seeing it or us talking about it or not talking
Stormed
about
off?
it. Yeah, it was not, Steve, it was not pleasant. He was really mad at the audience. I think he was mad at the booker and not that into the set, not too long into the set. He was like, I'm done.
Well, maybe it's
that
time
sounds
to wrap it up.
Vaguely familiar. That maybe people were talking or something like that, and he just
Or not
got
laughing.
out of there. Wow.
This is funny.
So I was excited to see this. The highly anticipated 3rd season of Yellow Jackets now has a trailer. For those who need some catching up, Yellow Jackets follows a high school girls soccer team who survived a plane crash deep in the remote northern wilderness. And the series follows their attempts to survive the plane crash and each other while also tracking the lives 25 years after the accident. There's some good names in it. Melanie Linsky, Christina Ricci, Juliette Lewis, Elijah Wood, Hilary Swank, Joel McHale are all in this. And with a cast of teens that are great, too.
So this is one that I've gone to, and I like it, but when I stray away from it, I don't go back to it.
That's me.
And then I'll have nothing to watch, and I'm like, oh, yeah, let me go back to that. But you really liked it, right, Preston?
I can't wait.
Okay, I think I need to.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And I'm curious as to what is happening. So I think I need to
Kathy,
get.
should we watch it together? We'll break out the wine and watch it together.
I mean, if you have wine in your house, sure, I'll come over.
My wife has lots of wine.
And pet cats and drink wine.
No,
it's
it
my
is
favorite thing.
It's the same thing because Preston and a number of people rave on it, and to me, it's very Lord of the Flies. It's got a darker element to it. It's very cool, but. If I go away from it, I don't come back for a while. Yeah.
Season 3 debuts on Paramount Plus for Showtime with 2 episodes on February 14th before the season's on-air debut following the following Sunday, February 16th. Timothy Chalamet is getting ready to host Saturday Night Live this weekend. He's also going to be this musical guest, and that's a lot of work. And the promo for this week's episode shows that the actor has a plan to not get overwhelmed. And he brought in some of the lookalikes from the contest that they had. And he has them practicing the monologue, talking to coworkers, doing an appearance on The Tonight Show and Fallon. It's pretty damn funny,
It is good.
actually.
Yeah, one comes out as Willy Wonka.
That's well done. I really like him, so I'm looking forward to that. Nick, I got to get out and see A Complete Unknown. I wanted to do that this week, and I didn't have time, but I want to go see that movie before it leaves the theaters.
I'm going to keep recommending it. it to you. And like anybody that likes any biopics or especially like, it's funny because we loved Walk the Line, which makes fun of or Walk Hard, which makes fun of Walk the Line. And so there are kind of elements of Walk Hard in A Complete Unknown, but it's so well done. It's just a terrific movie, and he's incredible in it.
All right, two more quick things. I know we're already running late, but a movie called Drop, new horror film, is coming out on April 11th, and a trailer has come out for it, and it centers around Megan Fahey, very beautiful actress from the second season of White Lotus. As Violet, and she's a widow and a mom who goes out on her first date in years with a guy named Henry. During their date, Violet gets a series of anonymous drops to her phone. She's instructed to tell no one and follow instructions, or the hooded figure she sees on her home security camera will kill her young son and sister. Ooh. And what is she instructed to do? Kill the date that she's on with. So,
who is she in White Lotus?
She's the hot wife of the guy whose
Theo
dong
James?
we see from behind.
Okay.
I think that's her, right?
Spelled Nick is not spelling her name right. It's just MEGHANN.
Scroll down. Hold on. Scroll down here. We might see her. Is this the first season or second season?
Both.
Oh, no, wait. Maybe that's not the same girl.
What?
She just looks like her.
No.
How do you spell it?
MEGHANN.
Fahey.
Yeah, that's White Lotus.
Oh, that is her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And she was also in The Perfect Couple, Kathy,
Yes.
by the way. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't care for the way that she spells Megan.
Yeah, come on with that.
Knock
It's
it
not
off.
her fault. I blame her parents.
You dizzy bitch.
But this looks good, Casey. I thought of you, though. You may not like it because it's a similar type of scenario as Carry On.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to go there. Listen, I watched Carry On. I enjoyed the ride, but it was completely ridiculous.
All right.
They're doing a sequel called My Wayward Son.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding? Okay. One last thing.
I thought you were moving on.
Well, I am shortly, but one more thing I want to get in because season 2 of Severance premiered last week, and we're already learning some more secrets about, Nick, is it pronounced the Lumen Industries?
Yeah, Lumen, yeah.
Lumen. The latest Easter egg reveal is that Keanu Reeves is the cartoony voice of the Lumen building.
Oh, man, that would... Okay, all right.
Have you seen any of it yet?
I have. That didn't dawn on me until just now, but maybe.
Okay, so...
Welcome to the building. Would you like to take the elevator? It's the best way to go upstairs.
So Dan Erickson, the creator, confessed other actors were in talks for the role, but he explained that they always wanted it to be somebody that people have certain associations with, but also it had to be a very warm presence. The highly anticipation return of the Apple TV Plus workplace thriller has fans shocked and locked in after season 1 was very well received throughout award season and given heavy praise by viewers.
So the conceit, Nick, and I watched a little bit of it, are they sticking to the conceit that they parse their minds and they have a sort of a work brain and a home brain?
The way that they create in this world and in this industry work-life balance is that you are very separated. You are severed. There's a severance from you going to work. You get in the elevator. You go up from the elevator, and then you forget everything that happened at work. And so you go home and you lead a very different, separate life. And that is supposed to be appealing. However, you can't reconcile the two. You don't know what's going on at work. And you don't know what's going on in your home life.
And there's confusion and fear. I would
and
imagine.
murder and the plot twists. And
Interesting. All right, we have clips to play. We got to hurry up because we got to break and come back with our keyword for the bird tickets we have to give away. All right, The Night Agent centers on a White House FBI agent who works on a fast-moving conspiracy that leads back to the Oval Office. This action-filled series called for many stunts, and in this clip, Gabriel Basso explains why those scenes were so exciting. Or is it Gabriel? I'm not sure. Here we go.
I think
Gabriel.
just doing it was really cool because I had been in movies as a kid and stuff, but I'd never, I had to be a kid. There was no fighting stuff for me to do. So yeah, I think that was the most exciting prospect was, I actually get to do this stuff.
Anyway.
The Night Agent Season 2 premieres tonight. That's on Netflix. Here's our next clip. Going Dutch focuses on an Army colonel's trials in restoring order to not only a new military base, but also his estranged daughter. And here, our new best friend, Taylor Mishiak, explains their on-screen contentious relationship.
They're both really, really ambitious, really stubborn, really strong-headed people. They just have different approaches. But like what happens to a lot of us when we're around our parents, she really regresses into this 16-year-old, you're ruining my life.
New episode of Going Dutch airs tonight on Fox, and she is a lovely woman.
We fell in love with her. She was great.
All right, we need to break right now because in 10 minutes we are scheduled to have a keyword for the Preston and Steve Ticket Blitz, a chance for you to go to the game this weekend. We'll tell you what to do with that word when we return, so stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3.
Pack myself right down into the water and not be able to right myself, and then just
go down to the bottom and stay there.
Yes, just continue to thrust myself.
We're watching video footage. They now have them where you can strap them on your feet.
Yeah.
That's
It's basically just a board.
That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. I wouldn't do that one. I would not do that one.
Killed on these.
Casey, who would be more?
Just screaming down to the ocean floor.
Where's Daddy? Any kids? Anybody see Daddy?
William Shatner and his ex-wife Elizabeth are dividing up everything in their estate, from dogs to land to ashes of exes to horse semen.
Wow.
TMZ reports.
Okay, yeah, because he
loves it.
He's a breeder.
Yeah.
He loves
He puts it in his cereal.
Love horse semen.
I tell you, I love it in my cereal. It's so thick and creamy. There's just something about waking up to horse jizz.
Oh my God.
Elizabeth.
Spock, what's this in your coffee cup?
Elizabeth gets 2 horses. William gets all the dogs, 2 horses, and all of the horse semen. He gets
who gets the jig-jill?
He gets all of the horse semen and equipment, the horse semen equipment.
He gets all the dogs?
He gets all the dogs,
That seems unfair.
Semen.
It's horse semen in my big, piping hot mug of coffee.
And these are per the papers obtained by TMZ. Elizabeth gets...
Yes, I'd like a bear claw and a coffee with horse semen. You don't have horse semen? You don't know how delicious it is in a cup of coffee?
So Elizabeth, gets a Malibu and a Versailles, Kentucky home. By the way, in Kentucky, it's pronounced Versailles, not Versailles. Plus her family farm in Indiana, while he gets a ranch and their Studio City home.
But I got the semen, correct?
He gets all the semen. Their agreement also spelled out animal visitation rights because they don't have children. So
Preston, you know what I love to do? I love to drink horse semen through a crazy straw.
Crazy straw.
Through a crazy straw. It looks wild.
Yeah, I can imagine. Wow. Bill Cosby changed up his legal team again.
Why?
Pennsylvania-based.
That one didn't work.
Yeah.
What do you mean? He's already in jail.
I'm in jail, Lloyd. I'm incarcerated.
Bill Cosby as Mr. Corn.
For dizzle anything.
For dizzle anything. Instead of saying anything. For dizzle anything.
I'm incarcerated, Lloyd.
He's holding up the boombox in the Cosby shows, right?
Oh, my God.
There is a puffy black man on the front lawn with a boombox.
Oh, dear Lord. All right, so yes, he's incarcerated. And the Pennsylvania-based attorney Joseph Green Jr., who represented Mr. Cosby during sentencing, filed court papers Friday to have himself withdrawn from the case.
That'd be so perfect.
Please welcome to our studio Mr. Barnes Courtney.
Yeah.
Morning, Barnes.
Morning. How you doing?
We're doing good, man. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me. This place is fancy.
Thank you, sir.
We try.
Yeah.
Not by our own doing. They just gave it to us.
You have so many lights. Are you guys hot in here?
We wanted to make you feel, you love being on stage. I was reading you love touring. It never gets old to you.
No. I also love that you have an enormous 10 by 10 picture of me on the wall. Just as I request, I'm not doing the interview unless there's an enormous photograph of my face. Is everyone looking at it?
Barnes, I'm excited to become more familiar with your music. As I said at the top, I am not, but 3 things that I know you can do. You can sing, you can play, and you can write. And I'm very impressed with your vocal capability. So I was reading up a little bit on you. And I had read, I think it was where, as a younger musician, you wanted to really try to have a high range when you sang, but you felt that you were kind of forcing it, and then you settled into what was more natural to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, from a young age, my father used to lock me in the coal shed until I could produce notes of a certain pitch so that I could sing for halfpennies on the streets of Ipswich, where I spent my youth.
Wow.
Really?
And it was like,
There's a movie in there. Yeah.
Sorry, that's a complete lie.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I was super...
You were the youngest of 15.
It was very difficult. My father was a cold and calculated man. He used to brush my hair from the left-hand side every morning as he would mutter insults under his breath.
Wow. That's just a tragic life.
I like you a lot.
It's that tragic tale that really led to my music. And
Oh my God! What an inspiring story. There's a movie from Disney in this.
Yes. Originally, you're from London?
I'm from just outside Aylesbury, but I grew up in Seattle, so
Okay.
I missed out on the sexy accent.
Oh,
I can put it on, though, if I need to.
But you have an
please.
appreciation of coffee.
I do. I do like coffee. I like being awake and cognizant of the world.
We're going to London next week. We're doing our show from there, and for most of it, it's a first time in London. And do you ever go back? I mean, do you still have family there?
No, I'm not allowed back.
You're not allowed back anymore.
Not since the accident, no.
Oh man.
I mean, but I don't want to talk about it here, you know.
I understand.
You burned down the Courtney estate.
We don't want to pry.
Yeah, they are not fans of me in the Courtney Manor anymore.
Courtney Manor.
Courtney Manor. And on the 4th day, on the 5th moon, young Barnabas did burn down the Courtney Manor. And the stuffed giraffes were ruined. All the children cried in their nightgowns.
Wow. I love it. This
And then he
is
fled to
fantastic.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't even know where to go.
I don't need, to be honest, I've really digressed away from...
It's all good. I appreciate it. Some people don't say anything. I love
Yeah,
this stream
no,
of
this-
consciousness that we're getting from you.
We'll take this, absolutely.
By the way, you have an accompaniment here. This is Agam is your keyboard player.
This is a gum. I don't actually know him, but he seemed pretty nice. He's got his own Casio.
Right. What are you guys going to play for us?
I'm going to play 99, which is my new single, Shameless Plug, Shameless Plug. And I guess I'll just play it now.
I'll introduce you.
Sorry, I was going to...
You were rattling on for
so
a
used to introducing myself.
No. He'll be playing tonight, ladies and gentlemen, at the Fillmore, and this is 99 from Barnes Courtney on MMR.
Hot, strong, young and dumb, yeah, we had no fear. Way back when we said we'd both be millionaires. Now those days are over, and we're all ghosts. We used to sleep all day, talk all night, stay up by the TV light, oh. When your baby teeth ain't milky white, wipe the stardust from your eyes, oh. Said, come on, love, we'll be just fine. We're gonna live just like it's 1999. In 1990. In 1999. In 1990. 1999. Back then we were trading cars behind the swings. Oh no, now it's money, gold and diamond rings. Now those days are over, and we're all ghosts. We used to sleep all day, talk all night, stay up by the TV light, oh. Wipe the stardust from your eyes, oh. Said, come on, love, we'll be just fine. We're gonna live just like it's 1999. In 1990. In 1999. 1999. Oh no, where does it go? Well, whatever, fill your body up with chemicals. Oh no, kaleidoscopes. Well, whatever, living better in 1990. In 1999. In 1990. In 1999. In 1999.
Another Philadelphia legend. We played this audio a little while back, but I have seen a few texts and emails coming in if we could play back the audio. This was former Mayor Frank Rizzo.
Legendary.
At the time.
An old style, two-fisted mayor. Mm-hmm. Really worked well with the press.
He was approached by a reporter out on the street, and it led to this audio. It's priceless here.
Creep.
WMMR.
All right, thank you, Kathy. It's time for the President's Ticket Blitz for this hour. So every hour on our show today and tomorrow at 1:15, or as close to it as we can get. We're going to reveal a keyword, and then you'll enter that keyword at PrestonandSteve.com, and then you'll be in the running for the tickets that we will give away. Oh, and not only that.
What?
But we're also going to give away a pair of Philly Sports Strip tailgate passes. And there's appearances by former players. There's snack time is going to be playing live music, food, drink, and a heated tent as well. So your word for this hour is SACK. And let me spell that for you. S-A-C-K. Not S-A-C.
Yeah.
It's S-A-C-K. And you go to WMMR, to go to PrestonandSteve.com more specifically, and you'll see the link for you to enter the word. And there you go. We'll see if you end up being a winner. All right. So good luck to you with the President Steve Ticket Blitz this morning. Next one, an hour from now. In the meantime, I think it's time to open our minds a little bit.
My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
The stream of consciousnessor.
Yes, there are many things that run through my mind, and I feel compelled to share them with you.
You have to listen. You're in danger of an aneurysm if you don't tap some of this off now and then.
Yes, there's a release valve that has to be open from time to time.
You'll have a brain bleed.
So according to new research, parents really do have a favorite child.
Oh, I know that.
New meta-analysis of 30 previous studies involving close to 20,000 participants suggest that they do have a favorite.
So who's your favorite?
I knew it was coming.
I know it's Carter.
And it tends to be a specific type of child. You're asking me specifically?
Yeah, I know it. Listen.
No, I look at it this way. I think the term favorite child is a little bit off.
Is it more appropriate to say the ones you don't love as much?
No, I think it's you connect more with.
Because you love them more.
No.
Oh, I was going to say maybe of the ones you worry more about. Or the most?
I wouldn't.
That's a good question. I see that as different.
Kathy, who's your favorite child?
I know. Well, it's easy
for you.
Yeah.
It's easy for Nick and I.
Nick. Who's your favorite kid?
Jace.
Jace? Well, that's outlandish.
Seamus. Yeah. No, I mean, look, I have two brothers. Kathy has two brothers. Clearly, Kathy and I were the favorites. So
I wasn't.
You weren't?
No,
No,
but that's the thing. As the other kids, you know who your parents' favorite is.
It was Adam.
My dad's favorite was my younger brother Tom. And that's because now that may have shifted now and then, but my dad was home more. He was a traveling salesman and out on the road a lot, and he was home more for Tom than he was for my older brother Gene and myself. Didn't mean I knew he loved us, but it's okay. You know it.
Yeah.
You know, there's in Islands. In the Hemingway story, Islands in the Stream, there's an older brother and a younger brother, and the Hemingway character, played by George C. Scott, the son says, "Listen, I know you loved him I know you loved him more. And he says to him, but I loved you the longest, to the older son. So, yeah.
Tom was the youngest out of all of you?
Yes, Tom is my younger brother.
Is Adam the youngest out of all of you?
Adam's middle.
Oh, middle. Okay, then that my theory's out the window because ours is the youngest too, and I just think like they're the baby, and
but it's also different for each parent.
Babied them, but everybody babied them, like including the other siblings. So.
Yeah. No, but it's different for each parent because I know for a fact that my dad's favorite was my older brother Dave, and my mom actually I think accidentally revealed to us when we had dinner a couple of weeks ago that I'm her favorite. Like, and
really?
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. And then she went to the other siblings. Don't tell anyone, but you're my favorite.
Casey, she won't have anywhere to live if she.
Exactly. It's cold out, woman.
How do you feel about me?
I was the favorite of my parents. My sister's a handful. That's all there is to it, and so therefore I end up with that.
I think I was the favorite, and then I got to college, and my dad and I had a strained relationship for 8 or 9 years.
That's my son. He's in college for a decade.
No, but of my kids, I probably connect with my youngest the most. Caleb, formerly Caroline, now Caleb. She identifies transgender, and so that is the one I connect to, I think, the most. Now, it does not mean that I love them any more than any of my other kids at all in any way, shape, or form. But we have...
Though you clearly love Carter more.
We have a little more in common.
Well, also with Caleb, like you've just spent more time as a parent with your youngest, and so you've changed over time, and you've learned, I think, probably, we all try to anyway, how to be a better parent over time, and like you just were more naive when you had Parker, right? Like you didn't know as much.
Yeah.
So, and Carter's just behind Parker in age, so I think like as the boys got older, you probably learned some stuff with Caleb where you're like, yeah, maybe I could do this a little bit differently, or just quite frankly, spend more time with over time. You
Probably. Yeah, possibly.
It's still the case, though, like with the three of us, even though, we're all adults, we all have kids, like you can still see it with my parents. And, if anybody ever criticizes anything with Christopher or whatever, I just disagree. I don't know what you're talking about. So all this like huffy, and you're like, wow.
I think I was I think I might have been my mother's favorite. Of course, she died way young, so I let this out. But it's interesting. I don't think as a dynamic, maybe it drives some people crazy. It never did for me to know that, well, you were the favorite, Preston, so you would know what it was like to not feel the favorite, to not, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it didn't impact me that. Like, I still felt loved.
Yeah. All right, so,
but as you say, you just jive with people in a different way.
Steve, Kathy, Nick, myself, we are one of multiple. I'm one of 4. You're one of 3, one of 3, one of 3. Press, you're one of 2. Marissa is one of 2. I'm curious as to who she thinks her parents, who are her parents' favorites.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
I think you're your dad's favorite. I don't know about your mom, though.
He is way smitten with his daughter. He's told me that before.
I think I'm the more fun one, and my brother's the practical one. If they need something fixed, they call him.
Okay.
If they need
a party,
if they want to go to the Phillies game, let's call Marissa.
Right.
Like,
I'm really in the mood for a Pringles party. Marissa.
So the new study led by Alex Jensen with Brigham Young University's School of Family Life combed through previous research to see how factors like birth order, temperament, personality, and gender influence parents' favoritism. They focused on 5 ways that favoritism manifests, and here they are. Overall treatment, positive interactions, negative interactions, how much parents spend on a child, and control. And the research reveals that both moms and dads tend to favor daughters slightly more than sons. Mm-hmm. But personality matters too, as kids who are agreeable and responsible tend to get more favorable treatment. Younger siblings also tend to get more favorable treatment as well, Kathy, so the younger. But older siblings get their own kind of special treatment in the form of more freedom and anonymity, autonomy.
LVOI.
While parents may recognize their bias, the good news here is that kids usually don't. So a lot of times the kids are oblivious to the fact that they're the favorite or not.
That their
favorite.
parents don't really love them.
Like I don't think my younger brother would have known at any point that that my dad favored him. But again, my dad was around more for him. I made my dad laugh a lot, and that was my thing. That's because I think you, Preston, also with your you have special things with each of them. So right there's. You have, and you go out of your way to, like, You took Parker on a trip. You took Carter. You took them all
each
on
one of
separate
them.
trips, and you spend time with them so that they know there's something special. And then it's during those trips you say, "You can imagine how much I love your brother."
Yeah, more than you.
Yeah.
I think as kids, you don't know. They're just your parents, and they tell you they love everybody the same. They're lying.
When
but-
mommy lets me out of the basement, I seem to.
Here's an interesting text. It says, I'm the youngest of 11 kids.
Oh, my God.
And we all universally agree who is my mom's favorite and who is my dad's. And my parents don't deny it either. and she signs it Joelle, or either Joelle is the favorite. I'm not really sure, but that's a lot.
So
when we've said something to my mom, like she grins and just, no, I love you all the same.
Yeah, that's the classic parent lie. So Claire is the youngest. My wife is the youngest of 9. And when I went to ask her dad, for her hand in marriage, he and my mother-in-law, who both have since passed, indicated how much Claire was a favorite. So it was, and it's like, oh, be careful with this. Don't break this one. This is our favorite.
Right.
Here's another text says, as father of 2 boys, I love both equally, but I like one more than the other currently. And then another one says, all my kids suck. But then they have moments that make you feel that they are the best. So, it's a little give and take in this whole thing. Jensen points out that most parents connect more easily with one child over another, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they've picked a favorite. He said sometimes parents get so concerned about treating their kids the same that they may overlook individual needs. We're not suggesting parents feel guilty. Instead, parents can look at this research and use it to as encouragement to look at places where they can improve without going to extremes.
Or maybe this is a call to action. Pick the child you love the most and start actively favoring them.
Yes. Hang on, I'm going to go to Samantha real quick. Hi, Samantha, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
So I'm one of 6. My mom had 4 girls from herself, and then she has 2 stepkids. My sister is her favorite. She tries to deny it, but she does just exactly like Kathy's mom does. When I was born, I was 8. When she was born, I'm sorry. Wait, are you there?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was quiet. When she was born, I was 18 months old. And recently my mom told me that I had to take care of myself when my sister was born. And I said, why? Because I was independent. She goes, no, I brought your sister home. You were done with
She was done with you.
Yeah.
Oh my
I got a new one.
Yeah.
Man.
This one's better.
Yeah.
18 months old.
Here, smell that. It's fresher.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
geez,
funny.
Aw.
Wow. All right. I love it. Thanks, Samantha. Appreciate it. All right. So, it's okay to have one that you
lavish attention on.
that you maybe appreciate or connect with more than the other. Don't feel guilty about it.
Coming from the favorite.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay,
It's
guys.
quiet. You just go ahead and do that.
It's wonderful. It's like the guy who shows up just as they're, the prison's letting out. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
So they kept you incarcerated.
Meanwhile, Nick and I are in therapy on it.
Why?
Oh, you'll be fine.
Not everyone can be at Preston.
All right, let's go somewhere else.
The stream of Consciousnessor.
So a plastic surgeon has come up with a list of the 10 most beautiful supermodels in the world.
This is always wonderful.
Not just opinion, though. It's a science-backed. Dr. Julian De Silva, a facial cosmetic surgeon, used the Greek golden ratio of beauty to come up with this gorgeous top 10. Now, they listed
They've
men.
used this before.
Yeah, they've listed men recently. This is specifically supermodels, not just actors, actresses. They zeroed in on that particular profession because beauty is what that profession is all about.
Do you know what? I don't think I'm as aware of the current status of supermodels as you used to be. You used to be able to reel off 4 or 5 at a clip.
You will know almost all of these names.
All right.
So the golden ratio, by the way, was applied by Leonardo da Vinci, and he used it to create the perfect human male body in the Vitruvian Man. His famous drawing. But the idea behind the golden ratio is the closer the ratios of a face or body are to the number 1.618, the more attractive they are. It has to do with the distances and sizes of your facial features.
Is your nose on the front of your face?
So I think the a recent one came out, and they determined, and Steve, I've forgotten the actor's name. He played Quicksilver. He's going to be the new Bond. He was in Kick-Ass.
Yeah, he would play Kick-Ass. Oh, God damn it.
So he is considered like almost perfect in the golden
Aaron Taylor
ratio.
Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. So for this study, De Silva looked at supermodels from the mid-1980s to today.
Okay.
Assessing them at their peak of fame to make it fair and determine which one is the most beautiful. So when they were at their peak, he took photos and measurements and all that and used that ratio.
Are we getting prettier or are we getting uglier? As we move along, these are all perfect, though, right?
That's what they're saying.
All right.
They all scored close to a perfect 100 because these are supermodels. So
let's see who ranks.
The most beautiful, according to the golden ratio, is Kate Moss. With a score of 94.14%, thanks in part to two features: her chin and almost perfect. I know you're saying no, and almost perfectly shaped jawline, according to De Silva.
I thought she has gotten prettier with age.
Do you know what, Case?
Yeah.
I agree. And she was the pinnacle of heroin chic. And once she put some weight on, she looks a lot better.
Second is Cindy Crawford, a second with 93.87%.
Oh, and she sort of has like that same jawline.
Earning the highest score overall in three categories: her chin, which got 99.6, her eye position, 99.4, and forehead at 98.6%.
What does her forehead look like?
Come
Let
on.
me see this.
So
forehead. I've got a 5 head.
Big. It's big.
You need a photo of her in her heyday, in her height.
That's incredible.
Which have been like,
she has a big forehead.
1990, early 90s.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah,
around the time of the Dennis Leary fascination.
92, something like that.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. I mean, she was and she is gorgeous.
She would be number one, except her lip score was 84%, and that brought her down
pathetic
one spot.
Did they say why, shape, or size?
They didn't. It just whatever the measurement is.
I would say that they're thin.
Maybe so. So third is Giselle Bundchen. So we do have a more current member on there. Number 4 is Jordan Dunn. Don't know that person. Winnie Harlow. Not familiar.
Winnie Harlow is the one who has God, I'm forgetting my own disease. Vitiligo. I was going to say Viagra.
She has Viagra.
She has Viagra.
The Woody on her. Then you have number 6 is Kendall Jenner.
I call no fair. Like, it's all after factory crap.
Yeah, like Cindy Crawford was naturally
Yeah,
beautiful.
I agree.
I mean, Kylie Jenner's lips, her nose, like everything is
She said
not
Kendall.
hers. Oh, Kendall Jenner.
Yeah.
My bad. I retract my
Oh,
statement.
do you think Kendall has had no work done?
Yeah. But Kylie is straight up like just kind of plain looking, but without the plastic.
Kylie
surgery.
was put together in a lab. Now, mind you, the lab was a good lab.
Yeah.
She looks fantastic. But Kendall, I think, probably has, if she's definitely had stuff,
Oh,
but
yeah.
she's had less.
Look at her nose. She definitely had her nose done.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Look at these
She's got a big
before and after
honker.
photos.
She looked like Carl Malden in the before picture.
All right, Liu Wen is a supermodel's name. I'm not familiar with her, but she's in 7th, followed by Cara Delevingne at 8. Emily Ratajkowski is 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is Naomi Campbell.
Yeah, my number 1 is not even in the top 10.
Who's the number 1 here?
My number 1 is Christy Brinkley.
Christy Brinkley.
I loved her so much,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. She
You know, I was a
way up near the top for me, too.
I'm surprised Kathy Ireland is not on the list.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because Kathy Ireland had that girl next door thing. But, you know, it's funny because how often do you find yourself saying, being attracted or finding someone attractive who you normally otherwise wouldn't find attractive? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you think out of the box a lot, or is it more
The older
fickle?
you get.
Yeah.
I think so. Like, I mean, you know, at some point you just like Emily Ratajkowski's on this list. I don't find her attractive at all.
Neither do
Like,
I.
I understand why people do and why she's ranked in there, and like the symmetry of her face and her giant knockers and whatever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what? I get that she's an attractive person. I am not attracted to her.
So this is according to the golden ratio, but number 1 they have on this list per the measurements is Kate Moss.
It's pretty wild.
All right, another story.
The stream of consciousness.
All right, let's go with something a little bit on the local side. And we're all over the place because it is the stream of consciousness, But Historic Philadelphia Incorporated has opened up auditions for costumed storytellers and interpreters of history to be stationed around Philadelphia's historic district and at Valley Forge National Historical Park.
My cousin needs to do this. He was a longtime lawyer in the city and then was a judge at City Hall.
Well versed in local history?
And loved it. And so he would, a lot of times, like, because his office was at City Hall, he would kind of go outside, like, during lunch breaks or whatever and look for tourists and let them know about things.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Leave us alone.
My buddy Will Chapman should do this. Now, his area of expertise is the Civil War.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. Like, he knows history very, very well. He loves to share it, detailed stories, but also is a character, too. And he could... they're looking for people with personality on top of it. So on its site, Historic Philadelphia Incorporated says that it's looking for people who can interact with visitors looking to learn more about American history and can be flexible and engaging.
I always think, Preston, of the Nate Bargatze bit about if he were to go back in time with what he knows now, things wouldn't change much because he doesn't know a lot about anything.
So this is a social job. One should be able to work well with others. Acting experience preferred, but not required.
Yeah, no one wants a pissed off Ben Franklin.
Know the importance of the guest's experience, being engaging, flexible, and an overall great communicator. That's what they're looking for, according to the posting. The company is looking for people who can act and can make relevant connections for guests, can be adaptable, and have a general knowledge about 18th century Philadelphia and the American Revolution. The posting also notes that they are looking for someone with a willingness to explore and share complex and sensitive aspects of history, too. So you got to be able to touch on, uncomfortable past
slavery
in American history, slavery and stuff like that. Sure.
I love slavery. No.
Yeah. What a whoremaster Ben Franklin was.
Oh, I was banging him 9 deep.
You know where they're really good at this? Ren Fair and also Colonial Williamsburg. If you go to either of those places, it's a full-on acting show when you get there. And I could never, ever do it. Those people pull it off really well.
I was at Colonial. Listen, and the only thing I didn't really care for is that I actually thought I was going to authentic, and I didn't realize it was a recreation or whatever. But I walked up to one of the charactered actors or whatever, and because I wanted to smoke a cigarette, and I'm like, you're allowed to smoke around here? He goes, this whole land was created on
tobacco.
Tobacco. He's like, smoke whatever you want.
Smoke them if you got them.
I loved it.
He pulls out a lighter for you.
How about a Duber?
Actually, flint and steel.
Hold these still.
No, you do it. Let my slave light your cigarette.
Wow. So, by the way, oh man, did I throw the story away before I was done with it? I had the information on where you sign up.
I think that's a good opportunity for someone who's interested in either the acting and or the history.
So auditions are held tomorrow and Saturday.
Okay.
So if you want to reach out, do a search on Historic Philadelphia Inc. Incorporated, INC, and you might find yourself a new gig, which would be pretty cool. All right, speaking of jobs, another story. So what career would you love to have if you could do anything? There's a new study that looks into the top dream jobs of people around the world.
What they fantasize about having as an occupation.
And a lot of folks share the same one around the world, which I found kind of interesting. And gang, I don't think you'll get it. I don't think you'll. It's.
Can I guess?
Yeah, please.
Producer for Pierre Robert?
No.
Is it actor?
It's not actor.
I know I always wanted, when I was younger, I always wanted a job where I traveled. Now the thought of having to travel regularly for work, because I know a few people that do, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's why my friend had retired early, because his job had wanted him to start, his towards the end, he only had like a year or two left.
Yeah.
And they wanted him to start doing like worldwide travel. And he's like, no. That's going to wear me the hell out. And he ended up retiring. Anybody else want to guess as to what might be a common shared fantasy occupation around the world?
Because you're going across different cultures, language barriers, hygiene.
I'll ask you to think practically. Okay. So
cobbler.
Casey said actor, and that's not it. Now I'll just go ahead and reveal it for you. It's a pilot. Kathy, thinking about talking about traveling.
So they can travel, it's just quickly.
Yeah. So
I would never trust myself to fly an aircraft.
research for Remitly, I'm not sure what that is, analyzes global Google search trends in 186 countries over the past year to find the roles people are curious about in every corner of the world. The financial services company looked at searches, including how to be a, to come up with the most popular dream jobs. And pilot is the winner by a landslide.
Around the world.
More than 432,000 searches of how to be a pilot in many different languages.
The most ironic part of this conversation, Steve, is that you jokingly said producer for Pierre Robert. Ryan Shuttleworth was a pilot, and he left that industry to work in radio, and then ultimately become the producer.
I was
for
right.
Pierre Robert.
Thank you. I had a feeling.
Not only that, Casey, Pierre's brother was a pilot for his entire career. Yeah. And like he earned. I've heard, and I don't know if this is still the case or not, but like when you start off as a pilot, even for commercial airlines, you do not make any money. You have to do it for a long time to earn a salary.
By the way, a question, just a technicality here. If you are the producer for Pierre Robert, could that also be considered charity work on top of that?
It should be.
Right?
Hazard pay.
Well, it's my understanding. It's my understanding, and Nick, you can confirm or deny. You also have to be a travel agent.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like you're a producer, but you're really personal assistant. That part comes first, and then you produce a show. But sometimes you produce first. Anyway, it was a great job. I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
It's a lot, and it's a lot on the fly as well.
Yeah.
So I have a friend who is a pilot, and he's a pilot for FedEx. If you were going to be a pilot, would you prefer to be a pilot for something like Federal Express or UPS, or would you prefer to be commercial airline?
I think that having the big question mark and whether or not this is going to be a good flight is the passengers and how they are going to act and what kind of drama might unfold back there. I think moving packages would be a way better gig than moving people.
The case of Pens will never complain about the bumpy ride.
Yeah.
But
What do they make?
so what about would this be tangential to like a steward or stewardess? Because like Saucy Redhead, Sarah, who baked a lot of stuff for the show.
She's a flight attendant?
She is now a flight attendant and appears to love it.
Believe it or not,
because of the travel.
I've thought about that because I honestly, whenever this job goes away from me, I don't have any. I couldn't do anything else. I think I could be a flight attendant, and I think
you'd be a good flight attendant.
That is
snacks.
Oh man, you'd have to deal with all those people.
I can deal with
Casey
people.
deals with people
All those
well.
whining people.
Yeah, I can deal with people.
By the way, the number one job in America, dream job, flight attendant.
It's number one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So I guess people don't take the time to go and search for, how do you become a famous actor?
Yes.
Or how do you become a quarterback? Or, something. They're being more practical.
Something's more attainable.
Now, what about, because obviously the thing is you can, get on a flight. Your family travels for either for free or discounted.
Big time discounts.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I would be the bitchy flight attendant. They'd be like,
Get it yourself.
Why are you working this job if you hate it so much? I don't hate the job. I hate you.
Why do you keep pushing that button, dickhead?
I hate you, man.
Diet Sprite.
Yeah.
No, we don't have that. No more drinks.
Yeah.
Do you guys catch yourself when you're a passenger, kind of just staring at the flight attendants and watching them do what they do?
Yeah.
So that'd be another thing. Is you would have to have.
What
you'd have,
are you looking at? Can I help you with something?
Jesus. This is the Kathy Romano School of Flight Attendant Trainees.
Sometimes.
What are you looking at?
What?
I get up and mimic them as they're moving, like I said.
Welcome to DBA, Dumb Bitch Airlines.
You dumb bitch.
In case of a water landing, I get out first.
Seriously, I'd have to work for Southwest, where it's a little unconventional.
Yes. Yeah. So, all right. So the top digital dream job is a YouTuber. Actor is the most popular arts and culture dream job. And pharmacist is the number one science dream job. Interesting.
Wow.
I've heard that's a great job because all
the drugs you get.
Well, free drugs. You can just steal stuff. Nobody even pays attention. But if you want to get into that field as a pharmacist, the hours are kind of set, right? So you're going to work and I guess sometimes as a scientist, you're in the lab 24/7 or whatever. Like if you're a pharmacist, you know what your job is, you get paid relatively well, and then you go home at the end of the day.
I can see that.
I don't know. When I go to pick up my scripts and I see the people working back there, I'm like, it looks a little monotonous to me.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
But like, if you're getting in that field.
You can certainly make a good living out of it.
Yeah.
But if you make a mistake like Old Man Garrow, it's a wonderful life.
All right, so the top 10 dream jobs of people around the world are as follows. Number 1 is pilot. Number 2 is attorney. Number 3 is police officer. Number 4 is pharmacist.
Okay.
Number 5 is nurse. 6 is physical therapist. Number 7 is midwife. Then you have at 8 a prosecutor.
Yeah.
Number 9, oh yeah,
Lawyer,
put those bastards in jail.
Lawyer, prosecutor. Had I been able to get through the schooling, I could have been a lawyer.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I could maybe be an assassin. I think I watch those shows. You know, I'm watching The Day of the Jackal right now. I'm like, yeah, I could totally do that. Just disassociate myself.
You'd last a day. You would get killed so fast.
You see Casey meticulously setting up his sniper rifle, and the guy just turns around.
Damn it!
Well,
he was behind me.
You saw me? How did you see me?
Because you're wearing an orange jumpsuit.
But
He's in his orange Adidas jumpsuit.
Casey's an assassin. Nobody's trying to kill him. He's trying to kill other people.
Yes.
He's
You
not
know
like,
I'm coming, bro.
He's so obvious.
Nick, look behind you. Go ahead.
You're in front of me the whole time.
Yeah.
Maybe you be shooting people in the luggage area of the airport.
Yeah.
Casey, you think your ability to jump out and scare people in the office makes you a trained assassin?
Oh, that's fun. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
The element of surprise.
Oh my God.
Number 10 on this. Number 9, I'm sorry, is actor. And number 10 is a judge.
Professional gurner, not on this list?
No.
You know, there's 3 law professions there.
Yeah.
Lawyer,
Judge,
prosecutor, and judge.
Do you know why that is?
reading.
Because of the preponderance of, I think, lawyer shows and legal
Yeah,
shows.
maybe.
And people see that, and they see people who are making a change. I'm surprised. So medically, correct me if I'm wrong, the only thing that popped up that was close to it was pharmacist.
Pharmacist and midwife and physical therapist.
Okay.
I mean, physical
But you're
therapist is not full
surgeon,
medical, but no.
not proctologist. There are a lot of openings in that.
I wonder why physical therapy, because we've had a number of lists, and
Yeah.
physical therapists always seem to pop up on them as good jobs. I wonder
Maybe-
what it is about it.
Maybe it seems more attainable than a full-on medical degree. I don't know, but you do have to, like Christine from Trinity. She had full-on medical training.
Yeah.
And had to go through, like, I don't know if she went through full-on med school or not, but so there are some aspects of that world that you have to be a part of. So Kath,
Is
I
she
don't
a
know.
doctor? I mean, by degree?
I've
I
never
think
asked.
cobbler.
I don't know.
I think it's a doctor of physical therapy.
Okay.
No, it
I
is.
think she had to go to. She doesn't just have an undergrad.
No,
she
you
had
ha-
to do
you-
additional schooling.
You have to get a degree. I would say this, Preston. Maybe the fact that you, when your work ends up making people feel better.
Yeah.
You are you are helping to alleviate them of pain, gain them mobility. You have your efforts receive an immediate response and effect.
And that's why my friend Emily, she's a nurse and gets complete satisfaction out of taking care of people, making them feel better. It's a not just a profession. It's a passion.
It's a calling.
It's also a 12-hour shift, and I
Yeah.
don't think I could do that.
Well, at the end of the day, your dogs are barking.
Yeah. Totally. And then you try to go out and kill someone.
Yeah.
And you got to stand around for hours waiting on
I saw
them.
you a mile away. You're wearing an orange jumpsuit.
By the way, physical therapy is desirable, according to this posting, because it offers a holistic approach to improving mobility, managing pain, preventing future injuries, and helping individuals regain function after an injury or illness. That makes sense. All right, so anyhow, those are the most desirable jobs in America, in the world.
The stream of consciousness-ner.
According to this study. All right, we have to wrap this up now. We are less than a half hour away from our next keyword and your chance to win tickets in the Preston and Steve Ticket Blitz, your chance to go to the game this weekend. Let's take a break, come back, and do the B-file, and then after that, around 8:15, we'll get your next keyword. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve from me.
Would you answer the question?
You know, you hide behind that press card.
I'm not hiding behind anything, sir. I just wanted to get some answers.
I'll tell you what to do. There's a gang of you here. There's enough of you here. By myself, I'll take you physically.
What about asking you to take me physically?
Well, get away from me.
Well,
I'll take you sexually too. I'll take you physically and sexually, and you'll hate it in one part and you'll love it in the other, and you'll be forever sworn to me your allegiance out of the love of the passion I'll deliver to you, all of yous.
He starts heading down a path he can't back off of.
I will do things to you that no woman's ever done, and you will ask for it to be done again, is how good you will feel at the end of these sexual acts I will levy upon you and your entire team. I don't care, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what comes out of it. I'm putting stuff in it, and I'm going to tell you something. You're going to love it.
Wow. I got 2 hands. I got
two
mouth.
hands. I have full working genitals. I have all sorts. And in my, you stay right here because my house is right over there, and I have so many lubricants. It's going to blow your mind, and you will be crying in pain and then laughing in joy. Is what will happen. There'll be things you will not believe it's happening while it's happening, because you will never have an orgasm as powerful as what you will soon be delivered in that alleyway down there.
Well, this certainly took a turn, Mayor.
I do not want to have sex with you. I am not.
That's how he could have gotten rid of the guy, right?
Let's just go. Let's go.
Fellas, pack it up.
Enjoy your walk, sir.
All right.
From me.
well, sir, I'm on the public street. I should be authorized to be here. Then
I'll break it over your head. Get away from me, you crumb. That's a challenge, except I'll put my dog away, and I'll come back. And you got 1, 2, 3, and I'll do it along with you. In that back of that fence, just the 3.
Just like that. You don't even have to take all your pants off. You're just down by your knees. I'll get it done. It doesn't matter. You'll be begging for more, but I'll deny you on the 3rd time. I'll leave you so frustrated your blue balls will explode. I'm telling you this.
Oh, my God. Hang on. That one.
There was a line? There was a line? All right.
I did that for you.
Oh, my God.
There you go.
Dude, I can't believe you just said that.
I had to.
I know. Oh, God. All right, let me continue on.
And I'll do it along with you. In that back of that fence, just the 3 of us, 4 of us, me and you.
Okay. I mean, honestly,
now,
sounds like right?
if just that isolated.
Yeah. And here's how it's going to work. I'll be with 2 of you at once, and the other 2 can watch. And then, like tag team wrestling, you'll tag your hands, and they'll come in. I'll start doing the other 2.
Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, Eiffel Tower. And then I'm going to put some saran wrap over your face. You ever hear of a hot Carl?
But let me put my dog back first.
Yeah, my dog, I got to put my dog back in.
Just joining us, that is Barnes Courtney, who's going to be playing at the Fillmore tonight. Tickets available at the FillmorePhilly.com. So while you were playing that song, I spoke to Casey over here, our producer, Barnes, because
you were listening to me, but that's cool.
I was listening, but I had to take a moment.
So it's fine. It's fine. It's all right. You got to pay your dues. I get it.
No, I was listening to the keyboard sound that Agam was playing, and we play a game here called Name That Song in 8 Bits. And it uses that particular 8-bit video game
sound
effects.
Yeah.
Do you want to play one real quick and see if you can?
I didn't know this would be a test.
It's a test. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
She's a good girl.
He's a pro, man.
Congratulations.
What a dude, Tom Petty.
Yeah.
You have just won yourself a digital download of Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's available now.
No way.
Digitally on 4K Ultra HD.
It's all coming up, Bonzi.
Let's try another one. All right.
There's more?
Yeah. Let's try another one. Here we go. Listen. You know it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm gonna be the man who's coming home to you.
Yes, you got that right.
I'm really ginger, and I've got a brother here, and he's also equally as ginger as me.
Case, what do we have for him?
We've got a case of Yard's Rival IPA right now.
Am I actually winning? Is this real?
We'll give it to you.
You're just being sarcastic right now?
This is actually the citizenship test you never took. So.
All right, can we do one more?
One more. Yes.
Case, which one should we?
You know what? The one that you have, I love.
Okay, all right, let's try this last one for Barnes.
Oh, I know this song. Oh, I should have just quit while I was ahead. I know the tune, but I can't place it in my brain.
Yeah, I'll give you the artist.
Hold on. The melody should be kicking in. Right here, I think. There we go.
I got nothing.
Don't know that one.
I know it. It's a very good song.
Peter Gabriel?
Yeah, Peter Gabriel.
The name of the song is Salisbury Hill.
Oh God! I can't believe I didn't get Peter Gabriel. I got the Pretenders, but I didn't get Peter Gabriel.
That's incorrect. I'm sorry, Barnes. You didn't get it right.
We're going to have to take back the download and the beer.
Yeah.
So.
Man, what was I going to win? That was like a Prius, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, that was. It was.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
I can't believe I know that song.
That's all right.
It's because you brought me in here like early in the morning. You did it deliberately, didn't you? Just to shame me in front of all these people on the radio.
You didn't get a chance to, get ready for it and practice.
I'm a musician. I'm not meant to be up at these hours. It's fundamentally against our DNA.
I wanted to ask you about writing because I was reading an article in Rolling Stone about you that said you have a difficult writing while you have a difficult time writing when you're happy. It's better when there are things going on in your life.
That's why I pay a troupe of men to sort of beat me consistently in the studio.
You want to be in a constant state of misery.
Yeah, exactly. Blunt objects mainly. Things they find outside in the street, sticks, stones.
Yeah, but sharp, no.
But the
doorknobs
songs
in a sack.
Doorknobs in a sack.
Just got to keep me on my toes, I don't want to get too comfortable.
Oranges in a sock.
Yeah, it's surprising that you're going with doorknobs instead of something a little bit more malleable.
Listen, I don't tell them how to do their jobs, okay?
Hey, we're the professional beaters. Let us do what we do.
Are you an only child?
Me?
Yeah.
No, what makes you say that?
Because only childs are usually weird.
No, I think I was dropped a lot as a baby.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to get the root of it all. No, you have a great sense of humor.
That's what I keep telling everybody.
Does that help things keep things light when you're on the road? You just try to have a good time?
It does sort of quell the crippling depression that plagued me from a young age. I didn't know we were going to bring that up for this interview.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, we're just trying to get you
wound.
Maybe it's inspiring you to write a new song.
Possibly. You never know.
All right. So what's another song you're going to play for us this morning?
Wait, I have to play two?
Yes, it's two. Now do it.
I got the one. I thought that was the deal.
We got a sack of doorknobs right out there ready to go.
All right. I'll play Fire.
All right,
which
Fire.
is a song of mine that I wrote.
Okay.
With my mind.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Barnes Courtney.
Yeah.
Lonely shadows following me. Lonely ghosts come a-calling. Lonely voices talking to me. Now I'm gone, I'm gone, I'm gone. My mother told me, son, let it be. Sold my soul to the calling. Sold my soul to sweet melody. Now I'm going, I'm going, I'm going. Lord, give me that fire. Lord, give me that fire. Lord, give me that fire. Burn, burn, burn. Oh, 1,000 faces staring at me. 1,000 times I've fallen. 1,000 faces dead at my feet. Now I'm going, I'm going, I'm going. My mother told me, son, let it be. Sold my soul to the calling. Sold my soul to sweet melody. Now I'm going, I'm going, I'm going. that fire. Lord, give me that fire. Lord, give me that fire. Burn, burn, burn. Oh, send devils come calling my name out, lost in the fire. Virginia blood is calling my name out, lost in the fire. Lord, give me that fire. Lord, give me that fire. Lord, give me that fire. Burn, burn, burn. Lord, give me that fire. Lord, give me that fire. Lord, give me that fire. Burn, burn, burn.
Yeah, man. Awesome.
Wow. Fire.
Such a great sound.
Barnes Courtney, who is in our studio, and I didn't talk once during your performance. That
Very
time.
nice of you. Thank you.
Well, you won us over with the first song. We figured we'd be listening to the full second one.
Most definitely. He got my attention. By the way, I got a text that says, "Thank you. Now I have to go home and change my panties."
Wow.
That was me.
A day after the season 13 finale of America's Got Talent, finalist Michael Ketterer was arrested for domestic violence.
Whoa.
Well, it shows the system works because he only came in 5th place.
What did he do? Was he a singer or what?
He packed luggage.
No, I don't know. Michael Ketterer is
I
his
think he was
name,
a
and
singer.
I don't know what he did. We're looking at a picture of him with his arms open at a microphone, so that leads to believe that he
He
may
did a
have
John
been
McCain impression.
a singer and impersonated John McCain. So those are the two things you can clearly get from this photograph here.
He's going to be playing a Vegas
It's
casino.
uncanny.
Yeah.
He just does John McCain and that's it?
Yeah.
What would it be like if John McCain sang the songbook of Air Supply?
A loving tribute to
To one of our nation's heroes and the kings of soft rock.
I don't even have any air supply.
One of our nation's heroes. You probably do on
So
here.
lost without you.
I'm sorry.
I knew you were right for leaving me so long.
That's
Very specific talent.
It was the greatest John McCain Air Supply show I'd ever seen.
And I'm bringing back my whole family. It's patriotic and it's romantic.
All right. So anyhow, I guess he was a singer and a John McCain impersonator. So let me go to here and more broken ribs. I have it says Walper. Is your name Walper?
Walter.
Honestly, wouldn't you at least say,
Walper?
Is this Judge Wapner calling in?
You got a
Walper.
nickname now, Walter.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you hear what happened to old Walper.
That's not even a mistype. I'm looking at the T and the P are like nowhere near each other on the keyboard.
Walper.
Name's Walper.
Let me get that straight. Your actual name.
WMMR.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Worldwide Stereo. Transform your home theater into the ultimate game day experience with an epic TV or home theater upgrade from Worldwide Stereo with 0% financing. WorldwideStereo.com/football, turning dens into super boxes since 1979. So we'll start with this. Packets of honey laced with erectile dysfunction drugs and sold as an all-natural aphrodisiac are being seized in record quantities in France.
And where are they keeping them?
Authorities have warned customers are taking serious risks by consuming the honey due to potentially deadly effects. French customs officials said a record 31,000 tons of the illegally imported honey, touted as an all-natural sexual enhancement, but often tainted with drugs like Viagra, was seized in the country last year.
What if this gets into the paws of bears?
The packets of honey and gels sold as shots or sticks with names like Black Horse or Biomax are often sold surreptitiously in clubs and other nightlife spots. Use of the aphrodisiac honey has increased in recent years, with officials warning of potentially serious health risks from ingredients not listed on the labels. France's Customs Office said the honey that was seized was mainly entering by ship from countries including Malaysia, Turkey, Tunisia, and Thailand. The biggest fine was made in the Mediterranean port city of Marseille in November. 13 tons, or in around 860,000 sticks were found in a shipment from Malaysia. Wow, that's crazy. And this is crazy, too. An Australian cruise company sent a parade of workers marching through the ship dressed in pointy white hoods, reminiscent of Ku Klux Klan garb, which freaked passengers out. They called it wildly offensive. Footage of the bizarre stunt shows 8 P&O Cruises cleaners tromping by a pool on the ship's deck while dressed in the face-covering hoods along with all white outfits.
It was a joke.
The hell?
So
funny, right?
You got to see the pictures of this. Hoods worn by the workers featured eye holes cut in a manner similar to those used by the notorious white supremacist group. In the footage, a woman in the foreground of the video can be seen eyeing the Klan-like spectacle with an exasperated facial expression. Passenger Terry said, we were like, are we seeing this correctly?
Yeah, what kills me is that there's a Santa Claus leading the parade.
What the hell is this?
She asked the firm for explanation. The cruise company said the workers were dressed up as upside-down snow cones during a Christmas-themed event on the Pacific Explorer voyage.
Didn't the Klan use the same excuse themselves?
What the heck? This is ridiculous.
So
we're just upside-down Nazis.
So a spokeswoman, Lynn Scrivens, said, we regret the incident on the Pacific Explorer cruise if it offended any guests.
Sorry about that Klan parade, folks.
So it wasn't clear why workers were dressed as, quote, snow cones for a Christmas event. But Scrivens said costumes and other resources are limited on cruise ships.
Tonight's blackface gala has been canceled.
In their defense, the KKK, of course, was founded in Tennessee in 1865 and apparently is not widely known in Australia.
I'm going to give them this one, but still, that is kind of...
It is. It looks like... It looks like a Klan convention.
It looks like, but that they purchase form-fitting robes.
Yeah.
For the snazzier dressed Klansmen.
A Pennsylvania man is facing charges for shooting an Instacart delivery driver that he mistook for a home intruder. Authorities say they received a call at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday for a man shot in the leg in a neighborhood in Newtown Township. Investigators learned that a woman had ordered groceries through Instacart that evening, but she didn't alert her husband, 43-year-old Nicholas Sabo, that the delivery was on its way. When the Instacart driver arrived, Sabo's wife saw an alert from the home security camera system that movement was detected near the garage. She told police she believed someone was trying to break into a utility trailer on the property. This is a woman who ordered
the food.
That's when Sabo grabbed a gun, went outside to confront the suspected criminal, and shot the driver in the leg. Now, the police chief, Paul Wolf, said the husband goes out, sees the individual, and no verbal confrontation, no nothing, just shoots the guy. The Instacart driver ran back to his car where his wife and child were waiting for him, drove down the street, and dialed 911. He was rushed to a hospital where he had to undergo surgery to treat his injury. He is in stable condition and is recovering.
Whatever happened to the warning shot?
Sabo was arrested on a charge of recklessly endangering another person. Wolf expects more charges will be filed against him. Similar incidents have taken place across the country, by the way.
Sorry about that. I totally forgot.
All right, one last story. A pickup driver learned a tough lesson when they crashed. This is in Florida, by the way. Crashed into a creek after doing donuts on a snow-covered Florida road.
Yeah.
So they're not familiar with snow in Florida.
No, they're not.
They know that you can do donuts in snow, but they don't know exactly how to do it. Deputies responded to the crash overnight after a caller reported the incident. Further details regarding the crash were not immediately released. In a social media post, the sheriff's office urged people to stay off roads due to hazardous conditions. The sheriff's office wrote, perhaps don't zoomy zoom on the slicky slick so you don't end up in the ditchy ditch. You may end up in the snowy snow waiting on a towy toe.
So they were talking to a reporter in New Orleans, and they got about 8-9 inches of snow as well, and they are not used to it as well. And so they asked the guy, have you seen any snow plows, Preston? He goes, yeah, there's one that comes through now and then.
Right.
Like they're not prepared for that.
Yep. All right. And there you go. That is what I have in the bizarre file for you. All right. In about 5 minutes or so, we are going to reveal our Ticket Blitz word.
Yeah.
And your chance to win Birds tickets for the weekend. So before that, we have a couple of guests that are in our studio. And we first and foremost want to welcome our good friend and fellow family member here at WMMR, Markus Goldman. Markus in the darkest.
Happy Thursday, everybody.
How you doing, man?
Doing well.
Excellent.
Well.
Now, listen, one of the reasons we have you here is because of the ACS Bike-a-thon, which has been a passion project of yours for how many years now?
19.
19
years, yeah.
Man, oh man. Well, along with you, we have the chairman of the Bike-a-thon, Mr. Mark Fineman, who is here. Mark, thanks for being here this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, we found out about some staggering numbers and donating to the American Cancer Society. Markus, is this through the WMMR team?
It is through the team, but Mark Fineman was the one who got the donation, and being a member of Team WMMR, we are also part of that recipient. It's mind-blowing, it's surreal, it's absolutely bonkers and amazing and magic. It's awesome.
So, our big focus here on the show is our Camp Out for Hunger every year, and we're very proud of those numbers that come together. You guys blew it out of the water. Oh, my gosh. So, Mark, can you tell us about this donation?
Oh, absolutely. So over the years, the team has raised about $1 million in the 19-20 years that Markus has been captaining and shepherding the team.
Yeah.
This year, we had a one-time special gift that was made by a nonprofit organization based here in Philadelphia, the Ronhurst-Bustleton Ambulance Association. That donation is in excess of $1.7 million.
That's sensational. And so through your efforts, I mean, was it a case where it kind of just fell out of the blue, or had you been working this organization to see if they might be interested in participating?
It took about a year to complete the process.
Right.
The organization was getting ready to wrap up their operations and dissolve. They'd been in existence for 65 years.
Oh, okay.
And providing services of free transportation in Philadelphia.
Wow.
And what they decided was they wanted to give the funds that they had to an organization that could perpetuate their mission of providing free transportation. And the American Cancer Society has a program, Road to Recovery, that provides free transportation for anyone in need of transportation to and from doctor's appointments or hospital for their cancer care.
Critically important.
It's crucial because without the transportation, what good is offering the services of treatment?
Right.
Because if they can't get to
there.
it,
It's
useless.
everything.
They also have a program based out of the Hope Lodge in Elkins Park, PA,
right,
where people come from more than 40 miles away from the city to get their cancer care and treatment. But again, they need transportation from the lodge to the local hospitals. So there's shuttles that take them over. These funds are going to be used to fund both of those programs. It's going to be at least for the next half dozen years. We project it's going to cover more than 22,000 rides for patients during that time. So it's a tremendous benefit and truly a legacy for the Ronhurst-Bustleton Ambulance Association.
No, it's amazing. And so obviously we talked about this many times over the years speaking to you, Markus, that this is your commitment to it, and all of you, and you as well, Mark. It's about more than, it's not, you can write a check, you can make a donation, but you guys roll up your sleeves, you guys work it on every level. And so to get to this level has to be mind-boggling that it is playing out this way. So Next year, 2 million?
Wow.
I'd love it if that happened. That would be incredible.
Mark wanted us to make sure that we get out the ACS hotline a number of times. 1-800-227-2345. Who calls the ACS hotline? What do you call that for?
Anyone who has a need, anyone who has a question, concern, needs services, needs some support, guidance, they can call that hotline. There will be people who are trained to take those calls. They can provide support. They can give directions and where to go for additional care, whether it's helping with bills, finding a facility, getting transportation, anything of those nature. Support. They have individuals manning the lines that will help women, for instance, get directed to where they can find wigs when they're losing their hair during their chemo treatment. They have look good, feel good programs helping with makeup. So anyone that has any need at all involving cancer, any questions at all, they can call that hotline.
Do you know the first step is always being aware that there are other people out there that are going through what you're going through. There are people who really want to help. There are people who have gone through, survived, and want to pay it forward. So that first, when you get that diagnosis and you think, your world stops and you're alone and no one's, there are so many people who want to actively, eagerly help you and can help you turn something that is, obviously no one signs up for cancer, but when you're going to get it, just know that the support group and what's available to you exceeds even your wildest dreams.
Absolutely. As a cancer survivor, when you hear those words, I've got cancer, that something has to happen. You need to take action.
Yep.
And this is a source of where you can go for that action.
Yeah.
By the way, you wrote down a couple of figures here, Mark. The Ronhurst Bustleton Ambulance Association, $1.7 million. It says team here, $1,812,823. Is that Team WMMR?
Yeah, that's Team
contribution with
WMMR
this
numbers.
And then what is the BAT? It says $2.8 million.
Bikeathon, Bikeathon Bridge to the Beach for 2024 is reflected as having raised in excess of $2.8 million.
That's
great. And what's really unique about that number is that represents about 2% of the amount of money raised nationally by all community-based events for the American Cancer Society. That includes marathons, making strides against breast cancer, Relay for Life, all those events. So
2%.
2%.
Nothing
is a staggering number when you think about it.
Yes, absolutely. And by the way, the American Cancer Society Bikeathon 2025, when is that coming up?
June 1st.
June 1st.
And
all
you
right.
can, there's going to be a link up at WMMR.com in the next few days, and you can sign up with Team WMMR. Please ride with Team WMMR. Right now, we have 98 riders signed up already. We've already raised $8,500. We have our big Tap Into Spring event on April 26th. We have the big Philly Bike Expo coming up March 8th and 9th, which you can get more information not only about Bikeathon, but about the incredible biking community in this area, which this biking community is absolutely amazing. And tonight and the third Thursday of every month, people from Bikeathon are going to meet at Brittingham's in Lafayette Hill at about 6 p.m. just to talk Bikeathon. And if you want to learn more about what transpired with this donation, then show up at Brittingham's tonight at 6 p.m. Mark will be there with a few other people.
Oh, excellent. Well, you guys should be incredibly proud. This is amazing work, and this is going to go a really, really long way. So congratulations. I'll give that number for the American Cancer Society hotline again. It's 1-800-227-2345. It's huge news, and we're very excited and happy to highlight this stuff for you guys. So, Mark, anything else you want to mention?
One last point, if I may. As a result of these funds coming in, Team WMMR gets the benefit of being able to select and name a research grant that the American Cancer Society approves and gives out to a researcher to do cancer research. They give out millions of dollars every year to do cancer research. Team MMR has selected with Ronhurst Bustleton Ambulance Association a research grant that's being given to a researcher out of Fox Chase Cancer Center in Northeast Philadelphia. It's a 3-year research program, and we're really excited that these funds are staying locally to commit to research, and we're looking forward to meeting and hearing from that researcher of how these funds are being used.
Okay.
That's great.
Amazing. Can you name it the No Sabro Cancer Research Fund? What do you think about it? What do you think about it, Marcus? Well, this is awesome. So reach out to Marcus if you want to about getting on the team.
Absolutely.
Is that the best way to do it?
Yeah, Markus at WMMR.com.
Awesome. Thank you guys for coming by here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
That is huge. Nice job, guys. All right. We listen, it is, oh my God. It's 8:19. We're a little bit late with this, but it's time for Preston and Steve's Ticket Blitz. Here is your next keyword to enter to get in the running for winning tickets for the game on Sunday. The word is PASS. P-A-S-S. And we will give you a little bit of time to do that. You can go to PrestonandSteve.com and look for the link and get yourself signed up for it. But the word is PASS. You have to enter that, P-A-S-S. And not only will you win tickets to the game this weekend, but you'll also win a pair of Philly Sports Trips tailgate passes. They'll have some former players. Snack Time is playing there, food, drink, and a heated tent as well. And we're going to do this at every 15 minutes after the hour while we are on the air. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back in a second. Again, the word is PASS. And when we return, we'll have the happiest person on the internet joining us. Stay put.
Preston and Steve on.
And what happened to you, Walter?
All right. Well,
All right.
I've broken my hand. Yeah. I've fractured all my ribs.
Were these fights over your weird name, Walper?
It's not my name.
His guy's name's Walper. I'm gonna punch you.
At least you got a great nickname today.
Walper.
Well, hang in there, brother, okay?
From Touchstone Pictures, the inspiring story of a man named Walper. I've seen him. He's got some medical issues, but the worst thing is his name is Walper. And then a young therapist came into his life. Hi, I'm Kathy Romano. We're going to change that P to a T.
Simple as that.
And then his life turned around.
I'm the head of a Fortune 500 company. And I can do the saber dance.
That morning show's not making fun of me anymore.
Name and introduction. Darling, my heart filled the room. I knew it was you. Come back in my life.
Shows tonight at 7:30. Tickets
Wow, we got Mello in here.
on sale now. World Cafe Live. That's
Real
Tommy
Mello.
Davidson, guys.
Wow. Because even the beds you guys got here are funky. The musical bed for that company just never. Then I come in, it's like.
No, we love that.
Yeah,
That's really nice, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you.
You wanted to be a singer initially, right? That was that preceded any thoughts of comedy.
That's the start. With a spoon and with tinfoil on it, standing on the table.
Yeah.
With the family around.
Yeah.
And
was jazz always your sort of foundational go-to musically?
No. I can't really remember what I started with, but I started with everything.
Yeah.
I think I got into soul when I discovered I was black.
Yeah.
But before that, I grew up in Laramie, Wyoming, and Fort Collins, Colorado, on communes and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like Iron Butterfly,
Like hippie communes?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Can I jump in here? Because I'm so curious about that.
Yeah.
I love a hippie band, right? Like they're like Grateful Dead and stuff like that. I'm so not enamored by because so sometimes I would come out of these concerts, right?
Okay.
And there would be these people who would hand you these flyers to come and live on these communes, and it seemed a little appealing to me. It really did.
You're the guy.
Yeah. I don't think I would push my 5-year-old there though. I saw a lot of stuff at the communes. I was like, okay, I ain't put together till way later.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, boy.
Right. But I was a young adult at the time. I was like 22, 23 years old, and trying to find my way, kind of lost in this world.
Yeah.
Like a lot of young 20-year-olds are.
Well, you weren't. Hey, you had to go because that's where your family was.
Yeah.
I was telling you, Tommy, off air that I just started jumping into your book, Living in Color. What's funny about me? And I was telling these guys last night, like, this is an amazing freaking life. And you made mention of the fact when you found out you were black, explain how you came into this world when you were born. It's a brutal story that has now turned into something great. But
yeah. I was actually abandoned in the trash in the year 1966. I was found.
Yeah.
So I was 2.
Yeah.
Maybe under 2.
Yeah.
Coma, starved, contusions in the head, the whole night. But my mother, who found me randomly in the trash.
It's just
it's
amazing.
So she was a white woman from Wyoming, and her and husband were down there in Greenville, Mississippi,
which is like one of the poorest
in the country. So they're teachers at Colorado State, and they heard Kennedy say, if you look back on this time in history, would you be able to be a white American that did something about the race problem?
Right.
So they wanted to do that. So they went down there and immunized kids and did that kind of stuff, and did voting drives. And they met my natural mom when they were doing those movements. They came back down there to pick up a program they were doing, and she was gone. And my mother's nosy.
Right.
She said she's gone. Well, where'd she go? And we think she went to Detroit, but she left her youngest baby at such and such a house. My mom is nosy and went to the house.
Right.
And the kids doing drugs in there, and it was an abandoned house. So she said something told me when I walked out the door to look under this big tire that was on the top of trash, and I moved it, and your foot was there.
Oh my God!
My God! And she said she moved the trash, and I had a torn shirt on, and said I will be president in 20, and the rest was torn.
Wow!
It took me to the hospital. I stayed there 90 days. I lived, went to Fort Collins, Colorado, where I grew up until I was 5. Grew up on farms and meadows and
so all this time
animals and
with her.
With her and my brother and my sister.
Yeah. Okay.
My sister's was my same age, so we're twins really, but she's blonde.
You related something. You relate something.
Yeah.
You relate something and I saw also reading some interviews with you, and you brought up this point that I thought because you'd say, okay, cats can give birth to multiple colors, and you just thought that was you.
I thought that was me.
Yeah.
Because I'm in farms and animals are everywhere. So we saw litters. Me and my kid's sister play with kittens and puppies and all the time. And I noticed that it could be a black cat. It would have a white one, speckled one.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 black ones, a brown one. Or a horse. Could be it could be a brown horse and have a white coat.
Yeah.
So I thought that that's how we are. You know what I mean? So I'm a brown one.
Right.
I'm a brown one of whatever we are.
It's such a pure,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Innocent concept.
Yeah, until we got to Washington D.C.
How old were you then?
I was 5. And we moved in there in '68.
So you started self-awareness around that age?
Oh, way self-awareness, boy. We moved there the week that King got shot.
Right.
So we moved in during the riots. Me and my sister on the ground, me and my brother, tear gas, fires. So we settled in this inner city neighborhood in D.C. because they broke up,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of jobs in D.C. And we come out to play with the kids, and they beat our ass, man.
Wow.
Every day. Every day. And they were calling my brother and my sister White Cracker.
Uh-huh.
And calling me White Cracker Lover.
Because your mom was white.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just went to her and said, why are they calling me White Cracker Lover? I like graham crackers. You know what I mean? Like,
they're better. They taste better.
Oh, it's so sad though when
You know
the
what I mean?
innocence is ruined.
Yeah, it's just like, so she said, well, that's what people our color call people. That's what people your color call people our color when they don't like them.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what color am I? She said, you're black. I said, no, I'm brown.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the crayons. She said, yeah, but that's what we call you anyway. Mm-hmm. And so then I moved out to it got so bad, we moved out to the suburbs of Wheaton, Maryland. That's the first time I heard the N-word.
Right.
I got the FCC note, by the way. Yeah.
So it got exponentially worse.
Yeah.
The suburbs,
that was
which
worse
you thought would
because
be...
I was being chased by grown men saying, kill the Nick.
Yeah.
And I was barely getting in the house, and I'd be riding my bike, and a whole truckload of teenagers kill them.
Yeah.
You know? So I was running in the house, barely making it. They were throwing stuff through the window, shooting, and it was crazy. So
this is late 60s?
This is 69 now.
Okay.
I remember everything, you know.
Yeah.
So I go to my mom and I go, who are these ends? We got to stay away from them.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They must be really bad people.
Right.
Oh, you know, and that's when she said, you know, that's what our people call your people when they don't like them. You know, our color. And I said, well, what color are you? She said, I'm white. I said, you're not white, you're like beige.
Yeah. Kids are so literal.
This is the stupidest damn thing in the world. You guys are mad at each other for colors you not really are.
But in
You know what I mean?
in that innocent thing, you're speaking absolute truth.
Yeah, it's like the dumbest thing, you
Yeah.
know, but it is the world. So we moved to an integrated neighborhood, and this is a real story, and I'm sticking with it. The white teenagers chased me again.
Yeah.
Killed the neck.
Yeah.
But when the black teenagers came in front of me, the white teenagers went the other way.
Yeah.
And I've been black since that day.
Yeah. right.
And it's been an education.
Right.
Well, so you,
know what
and
I mean?
you
Yeah.
became going back to the earlier point. That's when you became aware of yourself, and that's when you got into the soul music and things of that nature. You're exposed to that.
I pretty much came aware of it as soon as I got to D.C.
Okay.
Because when I got to D.C., my mom is always make friends with everybody.
Right.
So my mom had all these black friends right away. So and I think she did it on purpose
to give you some culture.
Well, she knew that I was talented, so she'd invite them over and put on James Brown.
Wow. Did she have any inclination towards this? Any musical capabilities or nothing?
My family is so far from music.
Yeah.
You know, cowboys from Wyoming. You know.
Right.
But I was, you know, spoiled by them. All the love I got, and I was the spoiled child. And so I'd sing "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud."
Yeah.
You know, just because it was a song. But when I got in first grade, I put up the Black Power fist doing the
Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, and I got in trouble. You know,
So you were making up for lost time.
Hey, listen, my mom, she did it all on purpose.
Yeah.
This took me time to look back on it. But she came into that office, boy, and she looked at the principal and the teachers, and she was like, what's wrong? And they were like, he put up the Black Power fist. She said, so what? That's all he knows about himself right now. Now, if you want to teach him something new, teach him something new. He just learned the Pledge of Allegiance just like the other students. So teach him. That's what he knows about himself so far.
It's such a fascinating, unintentional experiment. In a bizarre way, not to call it an experiment, but it's something that is just and this is, by the way, let people know again, living in color. What's funny about me? It's just a side promotion, but I just started it. It's riveting.
Tommy, is your mom still alive?
No.
Okay.
No.
When did she pass?
She passed away probably about 12 years ago.
Okay. What an
But
amazing
still
woman.
alive, boy.
I would love
Still
to talk to her.
alive.
Yeah.
Well, she got to see a lot of your success, though.
I'm her greatest accomplishment.
Yeah.
I'm her greatest accomplishment. That's the sweet reunion is about her coming back to me through my daughter.
So who were your inspirations on the musical side? Obviously, we know the comedy. We're going to talk about the comedy. But
I'd have to just say the Association, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Grand Funk, Parliament, Rick James, Cameo, Fleetwood Mac, Kansas. Carry on my wayward son. You know, it's all in me, man. The Led Zeppelin Kool-Aid commercial. You need Kool-Aid.
You need Kool-Aid.
Baby, I ain't fooling. Want a whole lot of Kool-Aid. All right. You know, Peter Frampton. Do you feel like I do?
Yeah.
You know,
that's a wide exposure.
It's just, you know, it all came my way, man.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So this show that is tonight. What can we expect?
3 WMMR.
Thanks, Kat. So the other day when I was getting ready for work, I pop on the ABC National News. It's the pre-Good Morning America show.
Right.
And towards the end of it, they usually do a nice light little feature. And they said they were going to have on the happiest man on the internet.
I love it.
I was like, oh, I'm on board. I could use some happiness. And they go to this clip, this gentleman from Austria, who we're going to welcome to our show in here in just a moment. And I just immediately, I'm like, I love this guy.
Love him.
I love this guy. Number one is the videos that he shares are in the most beautiful settings you've ever seen.
Gorgeous.
In Austria. And his delivery, number one, he's not only happy, but I'm going to play a clip for you if you haven't heard. This is him.
Guys, look where I am now. Isn't it so beautiful? I mean, where am I, really?
So he's standing out in front of these mountains and all this beautiful scenery, and he's just saying how lovely it is. So we got to get him on, right?
Yes.
So we do have him right now. We would like to. Do you have some music to? Yeah, thank you. We would like to welcome from Austria right now, and joining us via Zoom, and he is standing in a just beautiful forest. Please welcome Peter Mairhofer.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
We are great, Peter. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. I mean, look where I am. I have to feel good.
Where in Austria? Are you currently in Austria?
Yes, I'm on the mountainside of Austria, where the Alps are.
Where the Alps and the forest behind you does it have a specific name?
No.
No.
Just any forest.
Just any forest. Your Instagram account and everything plays like a wonderful travelogue. I like to hike out in nature, and Nick does as well on the show, and it's a wonderful Zen thing. And I love seeing you get caught up in the emotion of where you are. And man, that's really resonated with people who flock to your site. Does it amaze you how many people are enjoying your experiences?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, really, because my community is growing so fast right now. And for me, I see it just as a number, but now on Instagram, for example, we are now close to 500,000 people that are following me. And for me, it's still unbelievable that all over the world, people are watching my videos.
Well, you know what? Also another thing, and you are a proponent of happiness and being happy and doing things that make you happy. And I'll say this. I'd probably be a lot happier if I looked like you.
That's funny. But, I think that only because somebody looks in general beautiful for other people, it doesn't mean that they are happy with who they are. You have also, if you, for other people, look beautiful, you also have to start love yourself how you are. And only because somebody looks beautiful from the outside, it doesn't mean that they love themselves how they look.
That's very true.
Wow.
Very true. Very insightful.
That's very great insight. I love it. Peter, tell us a little bit about you personally, your family life. Where do you come from? Do you have any brothers and sisters? What your parents think about what you're doing?
So for your last question, what my mother is thinking, what I'm doing, I think she's always sitting at home and having fear in her eyes because she knows I'm on the mountains, and she's always very worried about me when I'm out in nature, but she also trusts me and she knows how much freedom it gives me to be out in nature. And I'm very close with my family. I have 3 siblings. I'm the youngest. And yeah, I'm just actually a very simple guy from Austria who is enjoying his time in nature.
And has this become your profession now? Are you able to make money with your Instagram account?
I think Instagram is working like this, that you start cooperations with brands. And yes, I'm making money with social media, but I am a person who I don't want to advertise things that I wouldn't buy on my own, So I'm not having a lot of cooperations, but the ones that I have are things that I really stand behind and that I think people should really know them.
Yeah, your heart is in the right place. We subscribe to the same notion of using and endorsing things that you actually feel passionate about with hiking. In one of your videos in particular, you were talking about being called out by the community, the hiking community, the outdoor community, for not having some of the proper attire. So do you have companies stepping up and offering you proper hiking attire?
No.
Well, they should be. I mean, you look at you're a male model, right? So you're a perfect person to endorse their products. We should put out the call to get you some endorsements.
Yes, I also think like that, but I don't know. Maybe they don't know me yet, but I've never got an offer from any hiking company to send me anything. And I also have to laugh about it because I go outside with my usual clothes because I think it's fine like this. I mean, I go on the mountain since I'm like a little baby child.
Right.
And some people go on the mountain with the biggest equipment and they have like everything, and still they are tripping over a little wood that fall on the floor.
No, it's true. It's true.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Do you even want that attire? I feel like what you're wearing out there on the mountain, that's you, and that's part of what makes up what you're doing.
Yes, exactly. I feel so comfortable in my clothes, and sometimes, especially here in Austria, people, it got normal to wear proper hiking clothes, what I really like. But the hiking clothes, they are so colorful and like very strong colors, you know. And sometimes when I go on the mountain and I meet people, they look a little bit like parrots to me because they have so much different colors going on. And I'm like, when did you get there?
I hear you.
Peter, I love you. This conversation is just making my morning. I'm so happy that we're having you on the show today. Your attitude is fantastic. Your English is also really impressive. Have you spent any time in the United States? And if so, are there any hikes in the U.S. that you would like to attempt?
Yes, absolutely. I would love to come back to America. I've been there a few times already. And right now I'm getting my working visa done to come back and hopefully stay also for a few months and connect to where I have been. I work as a model, and right now when I get my working visa done, I would love to stay in New York again for a few months and try to get some nice brands to work with together. But for sure, I also want to see the nature side of America. I want to travel around and go hiking there. And for sure, it would be very different, but that's exactly what I love, to have something new to discover.
Well, two things. When I showed the picture of you to my wife last evening, I said, "This is the guy we're having on the show tomorrow." I had to pry the computer out of her hands, so I would assume you could stay with us if you want. But also,
you could be his host family.
That's right. We'll be your host family. My wife would be thrilled. But with that and with your fitness, it's my understanding that you've adopted sort of a fluctuating regimen, a health regimen. You do different types of exercises because you're in great shape. Got yourself, obviously, you said you're a model. You're a very good-looking guy. What is your favorite way to exercise? What is your system?
So I think why I'm actually exercising is not to get a beautiful body or something. Yeah. Exercising helps me to free my mind, and it helps me for my mental health. So sport is very important for me. And I'm a friend of diversity, because you cannot always do the same, like always go running or always go to the gym. And I also discovered now Freeletics. It's an app and it's super amazing because I can do my workout where I want and when I want. And it's also nice because it's a difference to my gym sessions. So I don't always have to drive to the gym. I can also do my workouts at home.
Yes.
Or in nature. I come here in nature and I can do my workouts here, and that's just perfect for me.
That's great.
If you're just tuning in, we are speaking to Peter Mairhofer, who he has been nicknamed the happiest man on the internet.
And he is.
He is currently Zooming from Austria, his native land. And I wanted to ask you about Austria in particular, Peter. I've been there. It's been a long time. I went probably around 1990 and spent some time in Salzburg and did the Sound of Music tour. So it was beautiful. But you are doing a wonderful job at promoting this gorgeous country, Austria. And are the heads of tourism reaching out to you or anything along those lines? Because I'm sure you're helping to promote tourism to your home country.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question that I'm thinking about lately a lot, because I've been now on ABC News, how you mentioned already, and now you're interviewing me. Last year, 1 year ago, I've been on the Times Square for a huge advertising. And the funny thing is, the newspapers and TV shows here in Austria, it seems like they don't even know me yet.
in your home country.
Questions or TV invitements, it's really like they're like, who the fuck is this? About it because I make it to America, but my own country is ignoring me.
Well, for a moment there, Peter, I had to dump out on our audio. In America, we're not allowed to say curse words like that on the radio. That's okay. It's okay. I totally
hilarious.
understand. But you honestly, you are doing a great service to your country because I think that people are watching your videos are going, where is this? Where is this beautiful landscape?
And I've been as well.
It's stunning,
it's
isn't
a
it?
stunning country, and the people are wonderful. But you're showing a lot of times what you're showing is not what routinely ends up in the tourism push. I mean, it's scenery like no one has ever seen.
Yes.
I love to go off the tracks and discover places where no people are. And the most beautiful adventure starts the higher you get to the mountain and to the mountain peak, because there are barely no people anymore. And there you can see rare animals, waterfalls, beautiful flowers that usually other people don't see. And that's always why I leave the tracks. And for sure, it's also more dangerous, but this is the way how to find places and things that nobody else sees in this way.
If I could just jump in quickly, and Nick will follow up with a question. You mentioned about this, it can be dangerous. Have you had any moments where you felt, oh boy, I've made a bad mistake coming to this area?
Actually, it's not that I ended up in dangerous situations because I made the wrong decision. The dangerous things are the mountains on their own. The weather can change immediately, and there are dangers waiting for you that you cannot control. And I mean, I grew up on the mountains. I know what's happening up there, but still, there's so much things that can happen immediately without that you can think about why it's happening. And then it's about how you deal with this situation. And the mountains are dangerous on their own. I mean, so many people die every year on the mountains here in Austria. And for me, it's like a home. I go there and I see the dangers coming. And I mean, going off the tracks is for sure more dangerous, but for me it's normal. It's my home, and other people see it as very dangerous situations, but for me it's just like walking on the street to the supermarket.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple of falls on mountains, and I'm not trying to make this about myself, but I know how dangerous they can be. There are 63 national parks in this country, and they're jewels not only of this country, Peter, but really of the world. And I would love to go on a hike with you in any one of them, because there are so many wonderful things to see. Your approach to life is just really ringing true with me, and getting into the mountains, getting away from people, and the higher up you go, sometimes the more the happier you feel. And so I feel like your philosophy and your approach is ringing true, and not just with me, but with a lot of people in the United States. And that, which brings me to my question: do you think overall, part of the reason why you're responding and getting so much response in the U.S. is that we're seeking happiness in ways that Austrians and people like you may have found that's not as natural to Americans?
Yes, I think everybody is seeking happiness in his own personal way. And I also have to find out how I can be happy like I am. And now that I'm on a state of happiness, I think it's in my purpose to share it with the world. And I think Americans especially like my videos so much because I'm authentic, and not always is everything working out great, and I make mistakes, and I'm just like how I am. And I think that's what the Americans like. And I'm very, very thankful for my huge fan base in America, and so many people like my videos. Really, it's unbelievable.
It's great.
Peter, are you hiking alone or are you with people?
I cannot always wait for somebody to come with me. So that's why I'm hiking alone most of the time. And I also don't want to bring other people into danger, because the places where I go, they are dangerous. And so I'm hiking alone all the time.
I love your laugh.
Yeah, it's infectious.
Your laugh, Peter. And by the way, your voice, you have a unique voice. Who have people told you sound like?
My God. oh my God, where do I start? Well, there is so many characters going on that people compare me to. Lately, I'm always the guy from Frozen.
Yes, from Frozen. Big summer blow. Yes. That's wonderful. I wasn't sure if you were aware of that or not. That's great.
I wanted to ask you.
I am.
I wanted to ask you about. You mentioned Freeletics and AI powered fitness and nutrition, and says you have coaching services. Can people reach you online for coaching tips and things of that nature? Whether it be for physical fitness or attitude or any of that.
Yeah, I'm sharing some of my personal workouts that I'm also creating with the Freeletics app on my social media. So I hope to motivate the one or the other to start with fitness. And I think it's a very easy way to start fitness with Freeletics, because you don't have to make a membership in membership. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That one's allowed.
It's a flub.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's a different program.
You don't have to make a membership in the gym, and you don't have to force yourself to go running outside. You can just stay at home and train at home, or go to any place and work out there. So I think for people who start with fitness, it's a nice way.
Well, listen, and you're exactly right. Exercise, you get out and exercise, you feel better, and you're doing something that I think I've told many people, because I heard someone say it a long while ago. The best give you can give other people is being happy yourself, because it's contagious, and people are responding to you because you are authentic, and we all think you're fantastic.
Oh, I'm very thankful for that. And I think it's also the most important in life to just be yourself. You don't have to try to be someone else, because once you love yourself the way how you are, you will also find people that like you this way. And it's a very hard life if you permanently try to be someone else so that just the other people like you. And I had this experience in my life as well. And once I truly become who I am, I lost a lot of friends, and people didn't understand me anymore, and also my happiness. But now I'm just who I am, and I attract everything that belongs in my life right now.
That's great.
And everybody should just stop to try to make other people like you. Just be yourself, and everything other really doesn't matter.
Wow.
What a great philosophy. You have an old soul. You have a lot of wisdom for a young man.
You do. And a lot of people are texting and wondering how they can see Peter and his videos. You can find him on Instagram and TikTok. And the name is Peter_Mai, spelled M-A-I. So Peter_Mai_, or you can do a search on Peter Mairhofer as well, Mairhofer, and you will find the happiest man on the internet.
We'll
right
link
now.
to him on PrestonandSteve.com.
We will add all the links on our socials and on our website and everything. Peter, thank you for your time. You are a wonderful person. It is so great to chat with somebody like you.
And when you come to the United States, you're going to come visit us here in the studio, all right?
Yes, absolutely. I will. And if you ever come to Austria, hit me up and we go hiking together. And thank you so much for your time. I'm really thankful for this interview.
You got it. Thank you. Peter Mairhofer. Take care of yourself. Oh, my gosh.
I love him even more. Like, I love the videos, and after that interview, he's so great.
I know.
We were talking about favorite kids earlier, and I love my son dearly, but I'm going to adopt Peter, and he will outrank my own son.
He's my favorite.
God, I want to spend time with the dude. I want to go hiking with that guy.
Well, again, to have that insight, and a lot of times, you literally, it's the classic case of going out into the wilderness and finding yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it can actually be a healing thing for sure.
It was weird looking up. It was like looking into a mirror. You know what I mean? When you were looking at the screen.
He looks so hot.
Yeah.
When you look at yourself like that.
Yeah.
But oh my God, I love that guy.
How old do you think he is?
You know what?
27.
I was thinking young, but it's hard to tell.
I mean, to have that philosophy on life already at that young age, I mean, he's on his way to a happy life, hopefully.
27.
27.
He is 27?
Okay.
All right. Well, anyhow, we will take a break. We will come back in a moment. Maybe you'll be super happy if you win tickets to go to the game this weekend, especially if they win. We will come along with the Preston and Steve Ticket Blitz in just a little bit. And comedian Ari Shaffir will be joining us next. Right after him will be Michael Imperioli and Steve Schirripa from The Sopranos. Stay put.
Yeah.
I'm mixing now music with comedy. The saxophonist I'm playing with is excellent. So I'm doing comedy and doing music at the same time.
So your history, obviously we know you from the skit comedy in Living Color and obviously the movies and other the characters you've done and so on and so forth. But your stand-up career was pretty robust, and you got into the Comedy Store, Mitzi Shore.
You've been reading.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And you were on a bill with Richard
I thought he
Pryor.
owned the Sixers.
Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, correct?
Yeah, when I first got in.
So you're
finally got to the main room after 3 years of like hitting the pavement.
And the main room's where you wanted to ascend to the
that's
main
where you
room.
wanna be.
And so, be careful what you wish for. You end up on that bill, and you were middling for that.
Yep. And we all had the same time.
Explain what that was like. Give us a taste of that. I mean, you
that
have
was like
arguably the greatest comedic minds in stand-up of all time.
It was opportunity meets preparation and desperation. But I was ready.
Yeah.
I was ready. I'd been put through the fire. I was just about to go home from Hollywood. My mom sent me a couple of days earlier, those big legal pads that used to have the long yellow paper.
Yeah.
She put in magic marker. She folded up a $20 bill and put in magic marker. Don't leave, and I know you need the $20. And it was just a couple of days before this happened.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so I get on the stage, and I'm in between the two for 4 shows, and I got standing ovations, man.
Because the last thing, so I did stand up for a while. You would want to you'd want to be the MC, you'd want to be the opener, but you don't want to be anywhere near following one of those two. And yet you did. And Pryor himself kind of gave you a nice
Pryor
assessment.
came down to me, man. We were in a little hovel. The green room got the chicks and the food,
Right.
Ours looked like a closet, And he looked me up and down, shook his head, and looked me in the face. He said, "Man, you was a funny," and walked away.
God.
I called my mom. I was like, she said, "I told you not to leave." I told you not to leave.
Wow. That's so
that
cool.
was it. But I have faith in mankind.
Yeah.
It happened here in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Not the smack.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. A woman died at my show here.
Whoa. Really?
Yes.
Huh.
And I have faith in mankind. I invited her.
Yeah.
So I went to a check cashing place on a Sunday to try to cash my check, and the place was closed. But there was still people in there. You know how they lock it, but there's
right.
Just lock it behind you because we're closed and no one knows it. Yeah. So the people saw me and were like, "Let him in." And I came in and I was in line, and the people were like, "You know who he is?" And she leaned over and she said, "Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hi, thanks for coming." I was like, "No, thanks for letting me in."
Yeah.
And so she's doing her stuff, and she said, "What are you doing in town?" And I said, "I'm doing a show." She said, "Oh, man, wow, you have a show tonight? You made my whole birthday coming here." I said, "Why don't you come tonight?" She comes with her 2 kids, like 20, 22, 23 years old. 15 minutes into the show, massive heart attack.
Wow.
Whoa.
No one knows this, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the team is working on them. We walk everybody out. They say she's gone. I think people knew. But there wasn't a dryer in the house.
Yeah.
Nobody thought that was funny at all.
Right.
And, we did another show. They left it on me. You want to do another show? I said, yeah, we have to do another. Our job is happy.
Yeah.
Right.
Our job is happy. So we need to, we're like a fireman. There's his fire.
Yeah.
Ours is happy. So we did another show. But as people were going out nice and orderly, I mean, even the dishwashers were over there, in the corner like, man, this black woman, beautiful, looks me right in the eyes. She says, "Isn't this beautiful?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Of all the things that God could have used to walk her up to heaven, he used your show. It could have been cancer, car accident, shot, whatever." And I was like, that's now I know what Elton John's talking about. Philadelphia freedom, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild to think about that.
Yeah.
And it also, I'm sure it gives you an extra appreciation because it's inherently you want to, as a comedian or someone does anything with the music, you want to connect.
Yeah. And comedy's all the way around because I was still feeling like, oh man, how could that happen to me? what's going on?
Now I've got this.
No, I saw
Yeah.
Smokey Robinson on the plane.
Yeah.
Comedy follows me to love me. You know what I mean? And I go to him and I go, hey, man, Smokey, has this ever happened to you?
Mm-hmm.
And I told him what happened. He said, nah, man, it's never happened to me, man. He said, but invite all your enemies to your next show because you killing them, baby.
Shut up. That's great.
I have to bring this up too because you had last night the Golden Globes. There was a couple of Will Smith references. You had your own Will Smith encounter.
Yeah.
Explain what went down.
Almost something like Chris.
Yeah.
But it never happened, and I'm glad it didn't. And I was really happy about what happened.
Right.
For two reasons. One, I didn't have to feel guilty about what happened with me because he's such a great guy. Last thing I wanted to say was, hey, man, me and him almost got in a fight.
Right.
So that was a secret of mine.
Uh-huh.
And when that happened, I was happy that I was lifted off of that. That it's not just me.
You didn't have the exact same experience. You had a tense thing, but that didn't manifest in a full thing.
Yeah,
right?
it'd have been a mutual smack or punch or something.
Right.
It was going to that, and luckily Jada was there. She was, hey guys, and I was like, no, you tell him. And
you were in I believe you were in a movie.
With her,
and you kissed her in the movie.
I didn't find out what it was about until 18, 19 years later.
Wow.
I didn't even know why he did
you find
that.
out from him?
Yeah, I did. Because in the book, I wrote it.
Yeah.
And then my author was like, you can't put this in here because you got to get the rights done for them.
Right.
So this was bothering me. I didn't know if that was the reason. I did want to put it in the book. And so I sent it to him.
Yeah.
And him and Jada wrote me an email back and said, it did really happen, man. Put it.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he was kind of fuming.
I mean, he's just kind of human.
Yeah.
So that's the second reason why I was happy.
Okay.
Because whatever that is, that fueled that energy that he came at me or Chris with, he's got an opportunity to deal with it.
Right.
In one life.
And you
how many of us have that opportunity to not only have success, but then to have some internal success about growing.
We were just talking about that, about how you process, how you deal with those things that set you off, or those things that you and you talk about it. It's a large part of your existence is bettering yourself. How do I become the best version of myself? And so you want to always hope that people have that, they can reclaim their better selves.
Yeah, and that and that was great to see.
Yeah.
I've been through down the toilets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And through the love of people around me, and a good universe, pull through it.
Yeah.
So it's we're in this place. We're in this place where we got reward systems and this, that, and the other thing, the things we reach for.
Did you have to learn that? It sounds like with your mother on your side early on, it sounds like you were getting a really good instruction on how to approach life. Or did you have weaker moments where you had become less than what you wanted to be?
Yeah, I went to Earth University with everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
I got a degree.
Yeah.
So there was times that was a problem. With them being white and me being black and stuff that we went through, and it's just the road.
Yeah.
It's the road we're on.
Tommy, what was it like achieving the success of In Living Color? Because, that I'm always curious as to how fame and fortune affect individuals. And you've had an interesting life. And that In Living Color blew up. It was huge for a stretch. And so I'm curious as to how it affected you.
You know what? For one, the main thing is that I just got touched by a freaking angel.
Yeah.
To have that show in my life.
And did you know that at the time?
We knew.
Yeah.
We knew we were going to be touched by something because we were all the best at the time. So when we walked in the door and looked at each other, we said, we're doing a show together?
Yeah, think of that cast.
Yeah. Oh, it's like the X-Men meeting for the first time. What? So, you know what I mean? So it was that thing, and then, come the changes of success.
Right.
We were like family. We go to lunch every day, dinner every day, and we didn't know anything about fame. I didn't think we couldn't have, because when it came, it was just like a freaking. Did you see the blob?
Yes, sure. Both of them.
Yeah, it's just no getting away from it. It's coming from the vent. You know, it's hard to, you can't shoot it. I mean, it's like, it's nothing. You can't shoot it. You can't burn it.
Cold.
And it's coming at you nice and slow.
Yeah.
I'm taking my time. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like that thing, and so, that's a surviving thing. That's the thing to survive.
You met Keenan at a party, or he'd come to see he saw you happened to be on set of a show you were on.
He saw me plenty of times when I was coming up.
Okay.
At the clubs.
We had him in the studio on his birthday a few years ago.
Okay.
It was a surprise.
Awesome.
Too.
Oh, he's something else.
Awesome.
Man. He's something else. And it was just he knew he's the Dr. Xavier.
Yeah.
Of the whole thing.
He's Professor X?
He knew who the mutants were.
Yeah.
He just took us to the danger room. We got it all together and said, okay, now go get them.
Yeah.
We got too dangerous.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
We got too dangerous. He would come. He said, you guys can do whatever you want. And that. If you have something, we can always do another take. And blah, 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 blah. Boy, by the end of that season, it was like, he would come in the room and go, hey. Look, man, look at me, you guys. We're going to get canceled, man. You cannot. We're laughing.
That's what always happens, though.
We're laughing.
Yeah.
How long was the run?
5 years.
5 years. It's
seems like longer, right?
It was in my wheelhouse. It was one of those things that I never missed it every single week. And
Casey, it was the must. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
And having this job,
Radio was what made us.
Yeah.
Having this job has allowed me to meet a lot of the stars of that show. So having you here, on multiple occasions is a huge honor for me. We've had David Allen Greer sit in that seat. Like you said, Keenan, Sean, Marlon Wayans. We haven't had Jim Carrey in here yet.
Okay.
But
He's here.
What's that? Is he here?
Yeah.
Surprise!
He's on the roof crying. What are you crying about, man?
He's been a little emotionally.
He's on the roof crying right there. No, that's we were friends before in Living Color.
Yeah.
Yeah, our daughters are the same age. We were comic at the Comedy Store, so we do birthday parties and stuff like that. Now they're 35.
Yeah,
we knew each other back then, and then once the show came along, so we have a through line.
Yeah.
That came before it.
He and Damon Wayans are two that I would love to meet.
Yeah.
Love to meet those guys.
Yeah, I just we all just got really lucky.
Yeah.
No,
you didn't.
Like we can be.
Luck plus talent.
Yeah.
equals the
you
end
gotta have
result.
both of them.
Yeah, you got to have both of them. But the thing is that I always try to give this advice. Never, what you see is always realize that there are people that can do exactly that, and there's a whole tremendous amount of people out there with extraordinary talent that you'll never know about because the break didn't happen for
That's
them.
right.
Yeah, except now there's YouTube and you can see them there.
Yeah. But, it seems like the way of this thing we live on.
Yeah.
This blue thing we live on, we could go to the grocery store and see like heaps and heaps of
Our next guest, who's joining us via Zoom, is getting dressed as we speak.
I just saw his nipple.
I saw a nipple too. He's actually going to help us out with our ticket blitz in just a moment because I think he's going to have our word. But when I came in to work this morning and walked into the studio, the conversation that I heard was between Casey and Steve, who had watched his comedy special, and you guys were talking about how much you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'll say it, and he can hear it right now, but I've seen everything he's done. I think this is his funniest special. I was howling.
It is on Netflix. Currently, there are two specials, America's Sweetheart, which is the new one, and Double Negative as well. Oh, and available on vinyl, Ari Shaffir, Jew.
Yep.
You can get that too.
I love the way you say it.
I love it.
It's a hard J.
You got to hit it, man. Please welcome Ari Shaffir. Yeah. Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys doing? It's great to see you.
Great to see you too. What were you switching out of and into, or were you shirtless?
I had a robe on from after my shower, but I thought it was too unprofessional.
A little too Hugh Hefner-ish.
Yeah. I was like, oh boy, you know what?
Yeah. Well, let me start out of the gate and say again. I was laughing heartily last night. The special is excellent. There are a couple things I want to ask about it, but I'm going to tell you, straight up. There is just so many. The regular material is great. the follow-ups, the tags, and everything is great. And it's just, I mean, the concepts, you've always been great and sharp at that stuff. But how do you feel about the response? Because the crowd was loving it. It was in a wild venue, I guess D.C., that looked like it needed Agent Orange to clear off some of the shrubbery. But it was amazing. How do you feel? You have to be happy with this special, correct?
Yeah, so people seem to be happy with it.
Yeah.
People seem to get it and like it. Not that many angry people.
Are you the kind of person who ruminates on stuff like that? Or once you put your hard work into it, you cast it off into the ether, and you don't think, or do you sit and kind of ponder what you did and the ramifications?
Yeah, no, I do. I'm like, once I've like also finished editing it, then I'm like, is this even funny? Yeah, a week goes by. Marijuana's taken everything from me. I forgot every joke, and then people are like, I like this one joke. I'm like, oh yeah, I had a joke like that. I'm like, well, I just saw it.
All right, Ari, I'm going to stop this right now. You have something dangling from your beard. It's down low. It's like there's a hair or something. And there we go.
Yeah. Done.
You got it.
It's a piece of your robe or something.
It's a piece of his robe.
Friends do that for friends.
Yeah.
So, no, wait, you said at the top, Ari, that the more angry people, not as happy. What did you say?
There's not as many angry people as usual.
Okay.
So it's
well, I did notice that. So it's funny because in the same year, just a while ago, Tom Papa had his newest special come out, and he actually went a little bit darker. And I'm not going to say you've lost your edge. You haven't. You're amazing. But there was a lot more what I would call sort of fanciful, I don't want to say lighter because it's not true, but just stuff that was just out of left field. You do a bit about the Olympics, and I don't want to give away any punchlines, but it was sort of how people who might predate upon children view it, and I had to stop it because I was laughing so hard. So those moments, I think. I guess my general question is: Do you want to go in a direction when you start a special, or the material falls where it falls?
I start with just material, then I've begun like, what do I want to say?
Yeah.
On the material, and then I sort of guide like what I choose and what I talk about after that, then maybe write towards. So this was all about like just being happy.
Yeah. Yes, and you don't usually think of Ari Shaffir as your life coach.
Yeah, it's the only way I can get back at like my friends who are all super into like being angry, that I'm like, I think I want to like mess with everybody. And now it's like things are cool, and everyone's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, before things are terrible, and everyone's like, no, shut up, get out of here. And now things are awesome. He's like, I hate you.
That's funny. The ultimate act of the contrarian is to go against the public dog, and you are taking that, and you have been. I mean, the last time you were here, a couple of times, because you travel a lot, you have the Wanderlust and everything, and you seem to be in a good place, and that I think we need. Is it safe to say we need Ari Shaffir now more than ever?
Yeah, I'm leading this country back to where it's supposed to be. I'm going to go outside and get drunk on a weekday. I believe in this world.
But that also sucks because, when I was going on your website today, you have the farewell tour, and it says,
what's Dallas sucks? We're not even in the playoffs, brother.
Yeah.
Mediocrity. Now's not the time to attack someone on downswing.
Listen, I wear it every Thursday. I wear it every Thursday before a big game.
It's out of line.
Wait, are you
just picking on homeless people and taking their money? It's crazy.
So you don't like
Casey's wearing a Dallas Sucks shirt for those who don't know.
You don't like my shirt. That sucks. No, but are you going to go away for a little bit? You got this tour going on till June, and then are you going to not perform for a couple of years, or is this a joke?
No, I'm going to go backpacking. I'm going to go travel
for like 2 years.
Year.
Wow.
Year plus, I'll go back to it.
Well, you have your podcast with us. You be tripping. We last couple of times we talked to you travel a lot. You love it. I would say you even need it. It's part of who you are. So you're going to do a full year, and you've obviously become good at sort of going off the grid.
Yeah, I'm going to backpack throughout South America.
Wow.
I'm going to chase the sun all the way down to the tip.
All right. Do you need anybody to come with you? Is the first part of my question. And the second part of my question is, I think the last time we chatted with you, you were thinking about or had just been to some of the stands in Central Asia, like Kyrgyzstan.
I was thinking about it. I haven't been there. I want to go. My buddy wants to go too now, but it's like every other one. They'll just like hang you for wearing purple, and then the other ones are like pretty nice. So,
yeah, I read. Ari, I read this story. Like I'm not as into it as these guys are, but there are rock climbers love going to Kyrgyzstan because apparently some of the best rock climbing in the world is there, and like half of them got kidnapped a few years ago. So it's this beautiful place where they do this world-class rock climbing, but you run the risk of maybe being a hostage for a stretch.
I would love that where you're like, I just think everything's beautiful. I just want to see the world. And people are like, no, we're auctioning you off. Yeah. It's like those people jump into the lion cage when they're messed up on mushrooms and go, I just want to pet it.
It's true. It's true. And you've talked about this. You run the double-edged sword because you go to countries that, that might be a little bit more problematic. But for you, a lot of times, the most problematic thing is getting past TSA. Right?
Yeah. Wow. You ever just, I don't know, you ever feel like a patriot in the wrong moments? And you're like, I'm doing it here.
You're going to take a stand.
Yeah, with some guys working for $16 an hour.
Well, who do you travel? Do you have a consistent travel partner who's able to take a year off as well, or or are you comfortable, sort of Jack Kerouacking it and going solo when you need to?
Yeah, I'll meet people. I'll figure it out.
Really?
You make friends. You make little travel friends for like a week or a month.
Yeah, I don't have the balls to do that.
Listen, sorry to jump in the middle of this line of questioning, but it is 9:15, and we need to do the Preston and Steve ticket blitz. Now, Ari, are you prepared to give the special keyword? Did anyone tell you? Did Marissa tell you?
I think I am prepared for it.
All right, so Ari Shaffir is going to give us the Preston and Steve ticket blitz keyword, and what is that, Ari?
Well, I asked for it to be one word, and they said I got to change the letter because radio will not allow this word.
Okay.
So they changed it. They changed it, unfortunately, to punt.
Punt. I see what you wanted to go with. Yes. No, but the word is punt. Go to Ari's show. You'll hear the other word. No problem. And what you need to do is go to PrestonandSteve.com, and you'll see the link, and you can enter it, and we will give away the tickets tomorrow.
I can vouch for the fact that very word appears prominently in the new Netflix special.
Really?
Oh yeah. You gotta bring it back. What a great word it is.
Talking about the theater that you were at, is it in DC? Is that where it was recorded?
Yeah, it's a Capitol turnaround, DC, but we built it up to look like that.
It's insane. How long did that take?
I didn't do it, but it's all that. Yeah, Jews don't do gardening.
Yeah, but your last special, Jew, had all of the candles on. I think that we talked to you about it last time. You were like, it was hot. It was hotter than I think you had anticipated. But
I didn't put it in the oven, so I went with the theme.
But who was who's behind the design? Like, do you have a say in that, or does that all go through the director?
Yeah, we all designed it. My friend Corey helped me with it, and then we just hired this crew, Design Foundry, and they were like, first they were like, we're never gonna be able to do what you want for that money, and then I told them why I wanted to do it, and they're like, actually, that's kind of cool. All right, screw it. We'll just work for break even.
Do you know what's a cool thing too is that it's on it's on Netflix, which I think is kind of cool because everyone's been doing the YouTube thing, and that's cool as well. But is there a special sort of, I don't know, does it still carry any gravitas that it's Netflix? Yeah.
I mean, it's at this point, it's like less views, but it's like your mom can brag. It's like really important, Everybody's like, oh, YouTube. I'm like, shut up. And then this is like, oh.
So it's more like a vanity project for mom.
Yeah, when your daughter dates a doctor, you're like, oh, nice. You feel like a veterinarian, like, oh.
I can see that. I was watching an interview with you on Adam Carolla, and Adam's great. The one thing, and I think, let me ask you if you'll agree with this. The one thing with Adam, though, is that so much of an Adam Carolla interview is finding out about Adam.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to counterpunch with Adam. You got to be Conor McGregor. You got to wait for him to change the subject and then tag that up, joke that up. Yeah, it's just like you got to drop it at the door and forget anything you want to say.
Yeah.
Just there to feed Adam. He's so crazy though.
Yeah, he's great.
Have you considered? Have you considered? A show where you interview other people? Would you be decent in that role?
I'm pretty bad at it, but I've done it for like 15 years, different podcasts.
Okay.
Pretty bad at it. You guys are solid. The conversation always goes wonky when I do it. Sometimes I'll stare at them like, what else? And they're like, yeah, right. What else?
It is a lot easier when there's 5 people doing the interview. Yeah, because you can just ask a question, get the answer, and then sit back and hope that somebody else takes the baton.
Fills it in.
Yeah.
But no.
5 years, we're committed to the 18th best quarterback in the league for the most money of all time. And I got to come in here well past when they've been eliminated from the playoffs and deal with this kind of disrespect. You got bigger fish to fry.
He's so pissed about the Dallas Sucks shirt.
You really set him off in a bad way.
By the way, you wear that shirt every Thursday? I never
noticed.
Yeah, I'm pretty superstitious when it comes to my my Eagles team. Yeah. And so I have been wearing the Dallas Sucks shirt with my blue Adidas pants every Thursday. And it's been working.
All right. I was on stage before the Eagles, the weekend before the Eagles Super Bowl win, and I bought a Patriots Suck shirt. Was that who they were playing? Was it?
Yeah.
And man, I had it under my button-down shirt. Halfway through the show, I was like, "It's getting hot in here." I guess, but I'm just setting it up. And I was like, "Guys, mind if I take off my shirt, go to my undershirt?" And they were like, "Yeah, okay." And when I pulled that thing off, I buttoned it and kept it tight, and then I opened it. I've never gotten as big a response.
No doubt.
Comedy.
Yeah. That's like a Superman moment when you how fanatic are you sports wise? Are you
I have no football team. I don't believe in it as a sport anymore. It's stupid, to be honest. And I'm a Yankee fan, but football's dumb. Actually, soccer's a better sport.
What was the turning point for you, Ari, with football?
This conversation.
Yeah, it's pretty much right now. Anyone who roots for a football team, really, you're a loser, to be honest.
Well, here,
They suck. Imagine your dad decides how you want to run your life. That's what we got now. Some father deciding, well, I like this player's name better, and I'm going to give him
There was a story that came out, the Eagles last weekend. It snowed, and at some point in the game, some of the players laid down in the end zone, and they made snow angels. Well, the Eagles management went over and they shoveled up all of that snow that these guys were in, and they have been selling it in tiny little buckets for $50 a piece.
$50.
What?
I know.
Yeah. And they sold out.
And they sold out overnight, immediately.
I mean, easy to make new ones and not tell anybody.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's the amount of money that gets thrown around that kind of sullies it for me personally when it comes to especially the NFL. Yeah.
Yeah. I displaced snow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Hey, I got to
download your picture. I mean, it's going to melt.
Yes.
What are you going to do with it?
Well, that's it. I mean, you have the collectors. And again, I think a lot of times, a lot of chest thumping prior to getting to the actual day tends to run contrary to what you do if you want to maintain the lucky run, right? If you get too much, too certain of a win, you're going to screw it up.
I hate that, and that's why I won't do it. Look what happened. The Commanders beat the number one team in the NFC last week, and just destroy them. So it can happen. So I never get too ahead of myself. I'm confident, and I think that the Eagles are the better team. But I always say we got to see how it plays out on Sunday, and I'm going to the game. I want to ask, Ari, you're from the DC area. How are you a Cowboys fan? How did that end up happening?
Yeah, it was a terrible childhood. I lived in North Carolina until 4th grade, so I'd already picked the team.
Okay.
And we didn't have the Panthers yet, so it was America's team. Then I had to move to this enemy territory. I mean, I asked my parents, I'm like, "Don't do this. Just leave me. I'll be fine. I know people here."
So they set you in motion with your fandom, and then they abandon you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're
they made me the Spain that I am today.
You're a Yankees fan. How did that happen?
Same thing with no team, so America's team.
Oh, my
I choose
God.
teams with class and style. I choose teams with history.
Yeah, so you're a Lakers fan too then, right?
Shut up.
You are. You're a Lakers fan. Do you follow Duke basketball? Like, you're that guy.
You probably like the movie Rudy.
No, I'm actually a Laker hater. I'm actually more than any other team. I revel in the Lakers' losses.
Okay. All right, well,
Every year, I look at the standings just where the Lakers are, and I want them to go further down. It's pretty fun. Yeah, and I lived in LA for a long time. Oh.
I know that you're also big into MMA, and this weekend we actually have bare knuckle boxing going on. I don't know if you're into bare knuckle boxing at all.
Well, let me tell you I've been to Philadelphia on weekends. There's bare knuckle boxing every week.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
this thing it's wild. This thing is really catching on, and it's sort of at the heels of mixed martial arts and the UFC. At least in some areas, and we're curious to see how it plays out. But you've never seen
it's real fighting.
Yeah, I mean that's now that there are rules. There's no ground game. There's no. I mean they're literally. It's just punching and
I don't think there's kicking or anything like that.
No, there's no
either.
kicking. I don't think. Yeah.
But Eddie Alvarez, who he fought in the UFC for quite a while, actually had a title match against Conor McGregor. He is the I guess the I don't even know what you call that.
The
title
ambassador?
fight? Yeah, no, well, the ambassador, but like the top fight.
Yeah.
What is
Reigning
that?
champ.
Yeah.
Not the reigning champ. The last fight of the evening. What do they call that?
Oh,
the main event. The main
yeah.
event. Jesus.
There you go.
Just think of Barbara Streisand and Ryan O'Neal.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Thanks for working that through with me, guys. I appreciate that.
All right. Yeah, that's the main part of it. is naming the final fight.
If you have friends.
So Casey mentioned
that takes the ball from the guy underneath his legs.
Casey mentioned the farewell tour, and we were looking at the list of dates, and nothing in the Philadelphia area as of now. Could you expand to that?
No, I'm gonna wait till I get back and start touring again.
Okay.
I do everything once every tour, so I gotta I'll come back. I wanted to save the big important cities for when more material's built up.
All right. And so when you're out and you're by yourself and you're in these Zen experiences, have you ever had a situation? I know you've recounted some in the past. When was the time you felt the most at risk of having your life come to a quick end? Or did that ever happen?
I got led by gunpoint out from this military junta in Myanmar.
Whoa!
Yeah, we were in the place we shouldn't have been. And we were taking pictures of some statue. And guys with machine guns come out. And they're like, can we talk to you guys? And we're like, yeah, sure. And they're like, what are you doing here? And we're like, just hanging, And they're like, you're not supposed to be here. Let me see your passports. And they're like, they were back in our hotels. And they're like, all right, let's go. And they just marched us with machine guns down to hotels to get our passports. And then they're like, don't leave your hotel till tomorrow morning, then leave this town.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, we overstepped. It was like a kid who realizes he's pissed off his dad. Yeah. It's like if you come up with school wearing a Dallas sucks shirt when you know your father is a Cowboys fan.
Oh my God.
This one's going to linger.
It is. It will.
Sorry, my bad. Hey, listen, I loved your special, right? I
know they suck.
You don't need to rub it in my face.
I know they suck. I know it. They committed to a guy who should have been cut.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, all right. We got to run, but we will send everyone in the direction of America's Sweetheart on Netflix, and
hilarious.
Of course, Double Negative is on there too, and you can find a special on YouTube and everything. And we love the stuff you do. So congratulations on your success, and
guys,
dude, enjoy your time off. Say that again.
I love you guys. You're some of the coolest people in the world.
We appreciate it. All right, we love you.
Thank you.
Take care, man. Ari Shaffir, guys. He's great. We were cutting out a little bit in the audio there, but he's great. And
honestly, dude, the special is so good. I was texting him, and I hate that I did that, but as I was watching it, I was texting him just to let him know how much I was enjoying it.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Steve's right, laugh out loud stuff. There were a couple of times where I actually had to pause it because I was laughing and I didn't want to miss it. So
I'm sure he appreciated that, that you were reaching out to him like that. We have about 2 minutes or so before we welcome our next guest. We're going to have Michael Imperioli and Steve Schirripa on from The Sopranos. They have an event coming up actually in Wilmington.
Yes.
They're going to be at the Grand Opera House on February 1st, and they're doing a conversation about The Sopranos and everything. And I would imagine there's Q&A, but we'll get the details from them in just a little while. And then we're going to get, obviously, another shot one more time. What time is it? Yeah, one more time this morning for you to get entered to win tickets to the game this weekend.
Speaking of those conversation things, I'm going to go see Richard Kind tomorrow night. He's in town. He's at the Parks event, and so
that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and that's the type of event that the Sopranos guys are doing,
like an evening with.
Yeah, and I love those types of events. They just tell stories and movies that they were on. The story that Richard Kind told about Julia Roberts on our show a couple weeks ago.
Oh man,
it's so great. And so I'm psyched to see what Schirripa and Imperioli talk about, because there's just a million stories from shows like The Sopranos.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, so I'm
I know.
I'm not a.
I understand why you didn't.
Well schooled in that.
The thing about The Sopranos to me is that, and I've watched it 3 times. I love it so much, but it's funnier than people give it credit for, and the large part of the comedy is from Michael Imperioli and Paulie Walnuts, who passed away a couple of years ago, and so Tony Sirico, and it's just like. Even Tony, like the dynamic between all of those guys, between those characters, is just flat out hilarious.
I watched it the first go around. Nick haven't watched it, multiple times, but it was one of those shows that started that annoying trend of the huge gaps between seasons.
Sure,
and it would drive you nuts. But we'll talk to them about it. But I think it set some precedents. I think it was in some ways was revolutionary in what it did. So
it changed storytelling on television. I mean, the way that shows were shot, and Steve, you're right, like the length of the seasons, the spacing between the seasons, but the allowing for stories to play out over long periods of time. And one of the things that Steve, you and I have talked about a bunch of over the years is like, you weren't safe on that show.
No.
Just because you were a star on The Sopranos one season didn't mean you were going to be on The Sopranos the next season.
Yeah.
But for me, it was a pandemic show. I rewatched it in 2020 or 2021. It was fantastic.
Well, that's actually the reason for the for the podcast and for the interest in it. So many people visited the show during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And they discovered it.
You know who their opening act is? Your buddy Joey Cola.
Oh, Joey!
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, Joey's the best.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Nice. All right, so I think we're getting them on as we speak. They are going to be via phone. The show is going to be, like I said, February 1st at the Grand Opera House in Wilmington. And you can get tickets at talkingsopranos.com. So, Casey, music, please.
Oh, yeah. Here
If you don't mind.
where does that come up? Right here.
I don't know, right there. All right. Love it. If you want to find out all about, and it's amazing that a show like that is still as popular for people to talk about. I mean, that's the example of a huge hit.
Yeah, the one
that
that's
goes
enduring.
beyond, that transcends time. So The Sopranos, obviously, you want to go to this event at the Grand Ole Opera House in Wilmington on February 1st. Please welcome Michael Imperioli and Steve Schirripa to the show. Gentlemen.
Hello, how are you, man?
We're wonderful. Thanks for coming on, guys. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Hey, Michael, I think last time we spoke to you, we had a nice long conversation about the meditation events that you were hosting and doing that online. Is that still up and running? Is that still a passion of yours?
Most Sundays, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, most Sundays, and I announce it on Instagram on Saturdays usually, and then people can go through a link in my bio and sign up to do the class.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm sure that many people had to have that, needed a little bit of contemplative time after getting wound up by The Sopranos. But we were talking before you guys came on, and the truth of the matter is that the show had its moment, and it was a long moment, and it's kind of obviously legendary, and then had this amazing rebirth that took place during, COVID. And you have to have been surprised by this resurgence and a fan base that was younger, didn't see it the first go around, and now are rabid fans. Are you blown away by that?
Well, the kids were too young. A lot of kids, they were too young at the time when it first came out. And now with streaming, there's more people watching the show now than when it first came out. There's only 11 million people had HBO.
Yeah.
At the time, now it's literally all over the world, and so there's kids in their late teens and 20s and college kids and the show every bit as if it was written yesterday.
You know, it's interesting, Steve, is that the show and Michael, it to me, to my thinking, Tony Soprano was really the first pronounced, profound anti-hero of episodic television. Like I think a mold was set there. Do you guys agree?
I agree, definitely. I mean, there was in season 1. There's that famous college episode where Tony takes Meadow up to visit colleges, and he sees a guy who ratted out the family and decides to kill him. And HBO originally was against that. This is before anybody saw the show, and said you're going to lose your audience if your lead guy commits a murder. And David Chase was like, no, this is what they do. This is in line with his code, and it's important. And if we don't do this, we're not being authentic. And he was right, and people kind of bought it, and he became this anti-hero. That started a trend.
Michael, I'll tell you how impactful.
So Gilligan never killed anyone.
Yes. Gilligan never whacked anyone.
Well, there were fewer.
The Beaver never killed anybody. Ross from Friends.
There were fewer rats on Gilligan's Island, though, and the Michael, I'll tell you how impactful that show was. My son this year applied to Colby College, and that's where Tony killed that guy, and it spawned this entire conversation with me and my family about that very episode, and then everything that happened afterwards. So all these years later, it just so happened that Meadow, the character, was applying to Colby, and we're still talking about it.
Yeah, is that why he wants to go to that college?
That's it. That's the only reason why he was hoping to run into Meadow, really.
That's hilarious. I want to ask you both, because I know this has to be the case over the course of years. It's no secret that the show itself was super popular amongst people that were in that line of work. Were fans who were ever involved with the mob ever kind of critiquing your performances throughout the years? Were you ever called out on techniques they felt weren't as authentic as they could be?
Well, in season 3, I lived in Little Italy. So Monday morning, I'm taking my dirty laundry down to the dry cleaner. That guy stops me. He says, "Oh, Steve, neighborhood guy. Hey, Steve, hey. I love the show, right? But anybody who's ever killed anyone knows that's not how you do it. I got to get going."
Oh, my God.
I had a similar experience at Rayo's, the famous restaurant in New York, and I was there with Tony Sirico. And he knew a guy who was there, who was at another table, who was a captain in one of the families. And he came over and was talking to us and said, if you really want to know how to strangle someone correctly, I can show you how. And he waited until dessert, at least. I wasn't really prepared for that.
But I think that was a testament to the show, that these wise guys, and they're around, there's still a bunch of them around here, they liked the show. They watched the show, and they liked it. So I think that was a testament that it was authentic and it was real. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And the truth of the matter is that people talk about this like, and they're mobsters. Michael Franchise, I think his name is pronounced, but we had him on the show. He's a former captain in the mob, and now he has a very successful podcast of his own. And he talked about how a lot of the mob shows and movies and Goodfellas and The Godfather, that the mob would sort of incorporate vernacular and things into what they were doing. And I know for a fact that The Sopranos, I've heard them all talk about influence that The Sopranos had about the way they were conducting their business.
Well, we had contact. The writers had contact with people from, who were, involved in prosecuting the mob. DAs and lawyers and former law enforcement. So, we were definitely getting inside information. It's not really based on anybody in particular, but all these Italian mob families kind of are involved in similar businesses. So, you can draw all the parallels, but it's not really literally based on anyone in particular.
I wanted to ask you guys.
There was no mob. There was rumors that there was mobsters on the set.
Yeah.
They were technical advisors. That's not true at all. There was none of that. None of that went on.
Not true. I wanted to ask you about James Gandolfini and more specifically his son Michael, who's off on a career of his own and doing well. Do you guys get to socialize with him? Do you see him often?
You know, I texted him a few times, Christmas and stuff. I have not seen him. I saw him a couple of years ago at a Ranger game, but I have not seen him, but he's doing well. He's a really, really sweet kid, a really nice kid, and I think he's he's doing fine, and I think he's going to just get better and better, and he's working a lot. Really nice kid.
You know, doing research for the interview, I was looking back at history, and I remember there was a point, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Tony Soprano was a sex symbol. James Gandolfini was a sex symbol on that show. Can you guys react to watching that happen?
Well, I think he was wasn't he voted most handsome in high school or something like that? So I guess those seeds were already planted from when he was young. But, you know, he was this authentic guy. You know what I mean? He was a real, you know, he didn't look like a typical TV star, and I think people appreciated that.
Yeah. It's sort of the going against type. You were going to say, Steve?
You know, Jim, we used to joke, me and him. They say TV puts 10 pounds on you. We said it takes 50 off you. You know.
I mentioned you guys obviously have the event coming up at the Grand Opera House on February 1st. It's Conversations with Sopranos Live. Will this include question and answer from the audience as well?
Yeah, we always do that.
Yeah, what we do is we've been doing this show all over the country for a number of years now. We even toured Australia. We have a comic, Joey Cola, a very funny guy. And then the three of us answer prepared questions, all funny, comedy-driven, behind the scenes, give you a peek behind the curtain.
Well, I have to.
And then we do a Q&A with the audience, and then there's a meet and greet available. Then we have some seats left. It's a really good show. If you're a Soprano fan, you're going to learn a lot and you're going to laugh a lot.
I have to tell you, I started in comedy with Joey Cola. He's the nicest guy. He is a friend that I will not see for years, and then we'll reconnect. And he stays that kind of wonderful guy. But for an opening comedian or just a headliner, you can't do better than Joey. So please tell him if you get the chance that Steve Morrison says hi. But I wanted to ask you about when you guys are approaching this role. It's been done so often. We've seen mobsters and mob movies and mob TV shows. At the beginning, when you're trying to find the character, how hard is it to not lapse over into parody mobster and find the real character?
Well, you know, you need to trust the writing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, the writing was on such a level that all you had to do was be faithful to it and execute it with some honesty. And, you know, you had real characters there. You know, I'm not a comedian, nor is Steve, and we weren't playing comedy. I don't really know how to do that. But if you play the truth of the situation, it can be funny if it's written funny. It could be serious if it's written serious, and it's authentic ultimately.
Mm.
And it was all on the page. I mean, the writing was so good. I mean, it was on the page. It was right there for you, you know. And the problem with a lot of mob stuff, movies, some of them are just awful because it is a parody.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so bad, you know. It's like it makes your toes curl. That's how bad, you know. But The Sopranos are writing, which Michael wrote 5 episodes.
Oh, yes. You know? Wow. Forgot about that.
Michael, I wanted to ask about some other roles outside of The Sopranos and whether you guys will allow people to touch on that if they have questions. Obviously, a recent event for you, a little while back, not too long ago, was White Lotus, which was wonderful. Do people, are they at this event okay to ask about that, or Goodfellas or some of the other projects that any one of you guys have been a part of?
Yeah, they can ask whatever they like. I mean, we talk about some of our past projects outside of The Sopranos. So, you know, they can ask us whatever we want. It's totally open. And that's kind of the fun of the show, that every time you do it, it's different because people ask a variety of different questions.
It's great. Great.
Steve, did you see Michael in White Lotus?
Sure. I loved it.
I was curious.
Yeah, and I saw Michael in his play. I went to the opening night of his play, which was wonderful. Yeah.
I mean, the cast was so voluminous in Sopranos, and people had done so much work. I wasn't sure how aware you guys were, if you even have the time to watch everybody else's.
Well, I mean, me and Michael, we did the podcast together. We wrote a book together. We do this together. We keep in touch,
Cool.
So we know what each other are up to, and I don't know some of the other guys. I mean, I haven't seen some in a while. When we did the podcast, which was great, we saw everyone that we hadn't seen in many years, or, you kind of lose touch. Everybody's doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the podcast, we got to talk to like 69 different cast members, crew members, so that was great.
That's great. Let me ask you something. I'm sure this comes up often. I'm sure it comes up at every show, and it's a question you've probably been asked a billion times. Your personal takes on the last episode and what befell the Sopranos sitting there in the diner. Did they complete their meal and leave happily ever after? Or what do you think something else might have happened?
Well, we do get asked that every show. I mean, I've always thought that, Tony Soprano dies.
Yeah.
For a long time, I thought he was alive and well. Maybe it was wishful thinking. But after interviewing David Chase, like 3 times on the podcast, and other writers, I think Tony Soprano died also.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
I think he died.
The setup
I don't know. We'll never know for sure.
Yeah.
But I think he died.
Well, that's how TV legends are built. The fact that you don't have a conclusive answer will keep this and the Loch Ness Monster going forever.
Yep.
All right. Sounds good.
Well, we want to send people in the direction of the event, February 1st, Grand Opera House in Wilmington. And obviously, you guys are going to pack the house because people just this show is so beloved. And it's,
yeah, you guys should come out.
Yeah,
Steve,
definitely.
You guys should come out. It's a great show.
See Joey.
Let us know. We'll put you on the guest list. We're happy to. You'll enjoy the show. If you're a fan, you'll enjoy this.
Awesome. I love it. TalkingSopranos.com for the information. Michael and Steve, thank you guys for being on this morning.
Thank you, man.
You got it. Michael Imperioli and Steve Schirripa. Yeah. I think, I said I didn't watch the show, but clearly I watched that last episode because it was the TV event. And I think it was killed, the whole setup, the way they show the car pulling up out front. It was indicating something is about to
His
happen.
time had come. And I sort of felt that way as well. It's one of those great, final episode of Game of Thrones and all those sort of things. But and they all sit in that pocket, Preston, shows of this level.
Yep.
And even Sopranos past Game of Thrones, because there was much more focus.
Yeah.
And Game of Thrones was huge. But you didn't even have to be watching it to be pop culturally aware of what was going on in the show.
Yep.
In that last episode, in that last scene, there's one guy, other than the members of the Sopranos family, that they show twice on screen. And it's a dude who sits he walks in through the door. He has a little bulge in his jacket. You see him sit down at the diner counter, and then you see him again. They film him again deliberately. And keep in mind, every shot in that last scene, in that last episode, was intentional and deliberate.
Right.
They show him again going with this song playing, into the bathroom. That's the only guy you see twice. And he looks like he could be a killer. And then the show ends, and the song, and then they fade to black. That guy comes out of the bathroom and kills Tony.
You think, I can see that. The one thing that confused me was when Tony did the herky. I thought that was weird.
Just jumped up in the air and did that. So let me go back to that first viewing when you're watching that episode, and this song comes up. And it's okay, guys. The song comes up, and it fades out, and it's over. What was your initial reaction?
What the?
Exactly.
Like most of America.
Yeah.
Actually, my first reaction was something happened to the cable.
Yeah.
Right. Because I was watching it live on HBO, which is how you had to watch TV back in the day, whatever it was, 10 years ago. And actually, I think it's 2007 that it ended. Yeah. But anyway, you weren't streaming it. You were watching it live on HBO. And I thought something had happened with the cable feed.
Seth Meyers tells a story about it. They were all working an improv show or whatever, and it was his job to record the episode. They go back. The show ends that way, and he goes, "Oh Christ, the tape stopped." and everyone's looking at him, and then the credits came up, and he's like, "Oh."
I was just going to start watching The Sopranos today, but you guys spoiled it for me.
Sorry, man.
Nick, I watched one episode of The Sopranos, and it was the last one.
Okay.
I watched it, so afterwards I was like, oh, I didn't, really understand all of it, but I was like, oh, that was good. And like everyone around me, my parents were like, what the hell just happened?
It is rich with what the F moments, again, hearkening back to the fact that no one is ever safe. It changed tonally. In the beginning, it was it was more Lorraine Bracco as his therapist sitting down there and dissecting things, and that was a part of it. But again, a rich collection of characters. It was terrific.
Yeah. Maybe I'll dive in. I don't know.
What you have to get past, Preston, is your distaste for Gandolfini's speaking style for the Tony character, because I know that kind of like turned you off.
And the whistle in his nose.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
That would drive me crazy. But at the time when it came out, I was just not in the mood for the mob story again.
But it's not a mob story. That's
I
the
know.
thing.
It's family.
That's the background. It's these people that exist in North Jersey, one of whom has all of these issues with, and that's why he needs to go to therapy in the first place. And the mafia is sort of the background
exactly
to who these characters are.
The oddest thing is, Small Wonder is a mob story, but you don't know
You don't know it.
because they hide it.
Yeah, with a
Vicky
robot.
is the capo.
Okay. I'll have to spend some time with that. That's you're tweaking my melon.
Yeah, you don't think of that.
No. All right, I want to take a break because we still have the B file to get to, and then another break to do after that, and then come back and get our final keyword for the Preston and Steve Ticket Blitz and your chance to go to the game this weekend. So we'll come back in a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
Trucks.
Yeah.
Mack trucks full of cookies and this, that, and the other thing. And, I go to Djibouti, Africa, or Mexico, or somewhere like that, or even Detroit, and people are under a bridge with, a cracker.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So it's where we live, I think the whole forever thing, got kind of pulled.
Yeah.
Because we don't need to be here that long.
Yeah.
We need to just do it right, and leave it up to eternity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it's a very healthy attitude.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, it's Tommy Davidson who's going to be at World Cafe Live tonight. Tickets are on sale. You can get them at worldcafelive.com. It's funny music is the name of the show. How
people are going home? I thought that was Dr. Phil on there, man. Dr. Phil got a black accent all the time.
How are you finding that the music and comedy live are playing together? Is it a nice? You love the balance?
Yeah, it's a good balance, but there's two different art forms.
Yeah,
and they're.
It's all about timing now.
Music, boy, I tell you, music is like a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you ain't gonna know what to do no matter what.
That's a great way to put it.
You ain't gonna know what to do no matter what.
It's an essential. We've talked on the show. Occasionally, you'll come across somebody who says, "I'm not into music." Because there's nothing available to you that you can find that you enjoy. Because it is literally it's what the station has been about for years, providing a soundtrack for people's lives.
I know.
You know.
I know. Hey, like I said, we're on this blue chip now.
Yeah.
Yep. And just that little bit of the song we played, I heard a little, and that's all that I've heard of it, unfortunately. But I'll listen to it more. I heard almost a little Al Jarreau. Type of thing in
that's
there.
this is a business, right?
Yeah.
And so I had to think strategy. How am I going to enter into the music business? I wanted to do it in a genuine way.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be able to come in here and do something that I could do really, really well for a certain audience.
Right.
Because the way that things are now, divided into social media and all of this stuff, I'm somebody who can be eating a pickle on the porch couch.
Yeah.
In Buffalo. Can critique my album. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? So I don't know if I want to subject myself. You know what I mean?
You got to impress the pickle guy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Never get a picture of the person that made the comment. You know what I mean? I don't think Tommy Davidson's album is, and you look and he's over a paint bucket. You know what I mean? He's got a living room couch. from the 70s on his porch.
Right.
You know, with kittens. You know what I mean? It's February. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So
This sounds very specific.
Yeah,
Tom.
yeah, it's very specific.
Who knew he was a jazz fan?
Yeah, it's very specific. You know, I got that from when what was it, Amazon?
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know, went to do my book.
Yeah.
You know, and so they had comments, you know? And this is when I discovered that comments and social media is like the bathroom stall. Anybody can say something, everybody gets to read it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're not going to go in the bathroom stall and go, let me write this number down. Let me quote that. You know what I mean? So all these comments were there, right? I love the book. This is great. You know, some of the stuff bothered me, but you know, all in all, this, that, and then there was one comment that said, you know, I really liked Tommy Davidson until I read the book.
Huh.
And I'm like, you know, Amazon, why'd you have to put that? Like the owner can go to the moon.
Yeah.
The owner can go to the moon on his own money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why can't you leave out one bad thing that someone would say about it? That bad. I mean, there's no redeeming quality in none of that. That's just like I used to like him.
Yeah.
And now I don't like him because of the book. So it's like saying, I don't like him because of who he is.
Yeah. Right.
I found out who he is in the book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you know, we talk about the joke, and it's the classic joke is you get 200 great reviews, and that one that stinks.
Yeah.
What?
I know.
Yeah.
But I know the real thing.
No, you know.
The real thing is, you know, that person got loved.
Yeah.
And don't know what it's like. You know, but at least they got loved.
Yeah.
Because they got loved in one way or the other. Because they had to say it. You know, they had to say it. So they read it.
Yeah.
I got a text on one of the past, as long as we do have to wrap up, unfortunately. But this person says,
"Doggone it!"
It says, Tommy's story is amazing. Thank him for being a beautiful human being, especially for what he went through.
Yeah.
So there's some great comments.
I will say that I used to like Tommy before this interview. Now I love him.
Now you love him.
Now I love him.
Thank you. Looking out on my lonely roof, day after.
Is that Badfinger?
Yeah.
It's a great song.
I'm going to get your book.
What was it? Who was that?
Oh, yes. Roundabout.
Now, you gonna change your ways.
Yes, meet Sammy Davis.
Now I remember the last
That was Sammy Davis Jr. doing yes.
I remember the last time we had you, and you immediately just launched into Philadelphia Freedom just like that. Before I even asked you one question.
Yeah, but I got a new Sammy verse. I got my eye, it's out. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I love it.
Well, World Cafe live tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Now I got a new one.
Funny music with Tommy Davidson and Marcus Mitchell on sax. I wanted to mention him because you were talking about radio. So
come out and have some fun.
Listen,
I'll be there.
It's wonderful to see you. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you,
today.
man. You guys are still here. Like radio still exists.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
There you go. It's for you.
You know what I mean?
This is Roundabout, by the way. It's got a long intro.
It does.
I would have gotten to it, but we got to take a break.
Yeah.
Shows tonight.
Thank you.
We know
so
what you
much.
mean.
Yeah.
WorldCafeLive.com to get tickets to see Tommy Davidson. We're going to take a break, right? It's our buddy Tom Papa calling him.
Yeah,
All
we got cool.
So we'll come back.
We got cool.
We got
We got cool.
Casey. I've done something like that so many times that I can't bust your balls about it. We'll come back in a second with Tom Papa. We got cool. Stay there. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
This Saturday, the Keswick Theater is going to light up with the comedy stylings of our next guest. He's a friend of the show. We love having him on. He's one of my absolute favorite. Please give some love to Mr. Tom Papa. This morning. Yay. It's early. Hi, Tom. Nice to see you, sir. Tom's joining us via Zoom this morning. You look bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Yeah, well, it's you have a Cracker Jack staff over there. Casey sent me a reminder that we have the interview today at 4:30 a.m.
It's better than nothing.
He knows I was sitting there waiting for confirmation in the middle of the night here in LA.
I imagine you sitting like in a big lounge chair with a little a glass of scotch and just waiting, just anticipating the moment at which you get to talk to us.
Stroking my cat. When will they call?
Like Blofeld.
I talked to Tom 5 minutes ago in the other room, and I told him that I failed at my job, and then you brought it on air.
Well, see, this wouldn't be an issue if you were East Coast.
Yeah.
But
I know. It makes me very angry. I was like, every time I come on, I'm like, well, next time when I come through, I'm coming in the studio for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And I've got to be in Nashville the night before, so it always blows it.
Well, the draw obviously was you love to surf, and that's why you ended up out there.
Yeah, I'm big into surfing. I love yoga. I'm doing the 1970s version of California.
Yeah, exactly. The endless
everybody
summer.
Everybody else has moved on. I'm walking around with my chest hair out, gold chains, just tangled in my spooky cobweb body hair.
It's funny you mentioned that because there's a commercial with Mark Spitz on now. It's for some sort of colonoscopy in a box or something like that. But Mark Spitz was like that, exactly what you just the matted chest hair and the medallion.
There's a line in the song Macho Man from the classic Village People, right? Where he goes, "You see all this hair on my chest?" I'm like, wow, man, that was really that was it.
That's over now.
There was definitely
people were turned on by that, I guess.
So, Tom, you're gonna be at the Keswick on Saturday, and I feel like you're almost exclusively when you come to this area, almost exclusively you play the Keswick Theater, and I'm not sure if that is your choice, management, or but I just I
it's
love
a great
that
theater.
It's a great theater.
So
it's
good.
a great little town and everything like that. So,
town.
do you inform your booking manager where you want to play?
Yeah, it's kind of like a back and forth conversation, but I do love that place, and they kind of cultivated me coming up, and the real reason I wanted to go back, especially this time, was the Keswick was the last show I did before the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
I remember I was in the lobby, I was signing books. At the end of my shows, I sign books and meet the people. And I was out there and people were like, "Should we shake hands? Is this okay?" And everybody was all kind of screwy. And then I got on the plane the next morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm on the plane and I'm like, wow, this is getting weird. I wonder if I'm going to be doing stand-up next week. And Paula Poundstone, the great comedian Paula Poundstone, comes onto the plane and she sees me and she just leans in and goes, "We're effed."
No, it's funny you say that because that's happening a lot. This Friday, I'm hosting a charity event for the Morse Animal Refuge here in Philadelphia. It was the last event that night, a big gala. I remember everyone had that same sort of, what's going on here? What's going on? Things were going on. I lost an iPad that night, so I remember, the whole thing. And this Friday, it's like the sense is we're picking up where we left off because it's the first event back of that nature, which is kind of, it feels right.
Yeah. It does, and it feels like a milestone for sure. I'm a little concerned. I thought you said I lost my eye patch.
It turned out I realized I have a functional second eye, and why have I been wearing this?
People say the pandemic's bad, but I was able to use both eyes for the first time.
It's a joy.
Oh man!
But the theater thing.
Yeah, but I'm really psyched for sure, and it's there's only some tickets left. There's not. I came on because I really want to sell the place out. I just want it to be like this triumphant kind of like return.
Well, you're a dear friend of the show, so we please help Tom realize his goal. And if honestly, you're so good at what you do, and I think over this period, which no one would want to say, hey, I hope we have a pandemic, but I think what you do, how you've done it. The way you've approached thematically your shows, I think it's meant a lot to people. So I'm sure you've got, people will need to seize upon this opportunity to see you live after all this time.
Thank you. It is funny that now that I've been out for a bit, and you do see all the people. When like I said, I sign books at the end of every show, and I get to see all these people that have been they travel. I used to just kind of skip out the back.
Right.
Now you're actually sitting and signing books, and people come up and you forget, we traveled and we stayed in a hotel and we came from 6 hours, or we flew in from Toronto. And the thing I keep hearing is that my Netflix special, You're Doing Great.
Yeah.
Was like therapy for people during the pandemic, because it was kind of upbeat. It was very optimistic. You're doing great. We're going to get through this. And even the book was, You're Doing Great, and even reason.
WMMR.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Special Olympics of Pennsylvania, inviting you to get Freezing for a Reason in the 2025 Polar Plunge. That's February 1st, Citizens Bank Park. For more information or to register, you can visit phillyplunge.org. It's phillyplunge.org. Slaughterhouses in Brazil have become a target for armed robbers looking for a prized possession twice as valuable as the price of gold, and that is a cow's gallstone.
Cow's gallstone.
Cattle gallstones are one of the most treasured ingredients in traditional Chinese medicine, as they are used to treat strokes stemming from an increasing problem of hypertension and obesity. And the body part has become so valuable that traders are willing to pay a whopping $5,800 for a single ounce of the hardened nuggets of bile.
Is this like the new ambergris?
I don't know. I think it's, would it be considered a bezoar?
Yeah, because it's building within the body that way, the same way a bezoar would.
So it's led to a global hunt across the world's top beef-producing regions. But underground dealers dodging taxes and regulations, along with armed gangs looking to hit big, have quickly joined the game. Selling gallstones isn't illegal in Brazil, but the trade for the rust-colored rocks are becoming a flourishing practice underground. The savannah of Brazil is home to the globe's largest cattle exporter, and these robbers are taking advantage. Rafael Faria, a police investigator, said, "I thought it was a joke at first, but the problem has become so rampant that Faria himself was recently called upon to probe a series of heists and frequent smuggling incidents as these traders attempt to get stones to several buyers, including in Hong Kong, Shanghai, and Beijing. Recently, armed robbers broke into a farmhouse, and the criminals tied up the owners along with their 6-year-old grandson before running off with $50,000 worth of these. In September 2024, two Uruguayan siblings were sentenced to prison for trafficking more than $3 million in gallstones.
Wow, there's some big money there.
Yeah, definitely.
Big money there in that little cow.
Is a bezoar the same?
I think it's really similar.
Okay.
And therein kind of lies some of the value.
Yeah, interesting. A Georgia county fire chief was fatally shot in Alabama while attempting to assist individuals who had struck a deer while traveling. This is really weird and sad. The deceased was identified as James Cawthon, a 50-year-old battalion fire chief. Cawthon was trying to help two people who had hit a deer while they were driving on Sunday. And when deputies arrived at the scene, they found Cawthon and two individuals who had hit the deer with gunshot wounds. Cawthon died from his injuries, while the other two individuals were taken to the hospital trauma centers. And arrest warrants for murder were issued for this guy named William Randall Franklin. He is an Alabama man who resides in the area, and he'll be arrested once he's released from the hospital. Investigators said Franklin was the one who opened fire on Cawthon and the two unidentified individuals who struck the deer. There's just no...
Was he just in the woods hunting, or...
No, I think he...
Passerby?
I think he was part of the crew. He was the guy that was driving.
Oh, man.
So
That's
very
insane.
weird. I'm interested to see a follow-up on that, what they
Yes.
find out from that. All right, something a lot lighter than that. A Bavarian ski resort slogan has been banned ahead of the upcoming Skiing World Cup over fears that it will offend British visitors. The slogan used by the resort pays homage to Garsmich Parkenkirchen's local mountain called Mount Wank.
Yeah, that might be a problem.
Images of gondolas.
Wanker.
And in images of gondolas with the resort's cable car station show bold text plastered to the side that reads, "I love wank."
right.
And the slogan was,
I love it too.
Reportedly even set to be carved into the snow on the legendary Kodar Piste, sent to be seen by cameras and drones during the upcoming Alpine Skiing World Cup races.
There is and I don't know if he's practicing anymore, but an oral surgeon in this area who did wisdom teeth. And when you got your wisdom teeth taken out, you got a T-shirt that said, and his last name was Wank. It said, I got yanked by Wank.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. By the way, I love that term.
Yeah, wank.
Absolutely. Wank and
Yeah,
wanker.
yeah.
On Ted Lasso, he walks in on Keely, who's having fun with herself. He's going, "You having a wank with yourself?" I love it. So organizers have praised the local slogan, but said that it was inappropriate for an international event. According to bets, around 8 million viewers worldwide tune into the races, including many English speakers. On Tuesday, the Colorado Supreme Court ruled that elephants do not have the same rights as humans after the Non-Human Rights Project sued the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo over the conditions of its elephants.
This is an outrage.
In late October, the Non-Human Rights Project sued over the welfare of its 5 elephants, Missy, Kimba, Lucky, Lulu, and Jambo. The NHRP argued that it was claiming habeas corpus as the elephant's next friend. This term is typically used when a human speaks up on behalf of another human.
Your Honor, I'm just an elephant. I eat peanuts. I'm afraid of mice, but I never forget.
This case had never before been argued regarding an animal with habeas corpus. So the Supreme Court was working to decide on if a non-human being was entitled to that form of legal protection. The Supreme Court ultimately decided no matter how cognitively, psychologically, or socially sophisticated they may be, non-human animals cannot apply for habeas under Colorado's statute.
I'd say they can apply, but just make they have to be the ones that fill out the form.
Right, yes.
And that's how you get around it.
And then we will consider you to be a human. All right, and I think that's where we will wrap up. I want to try to stay somewhat on time for our next Preston and Steve Ticket Blitz keyword. So that's it for the B-File. We'll come back in a second. We'll also get lesson question, trash, and the music news. Stay with us, friend.
Preston and Steve.
Reasons to stay alive and other reasons to stay alive. And I was just writing it, but I didn't realize it was became like a self-help book, and a self-help special.
It's brilliant, and there's sometimes it's weird when you experience like a blowback from a desire to feel good and see the glass as half full. It's how we survive as a species.
Mm-hmm.
And Preston was just talking about, we had a segment about long despair and all of the people who are just in the throes of dealing with all this stuff. That's the service you provide. It is a release. A comedy has always helped me throughout my life, whether I was watching Bugs Bunny cartoons or whatever, going through a bad time. It does heal, and so it's got to be very good for you to see those people smiling and reacting to you that way.
100%. And it's I named the tour the tour that I'm on, the Family Reunion Tour, and I really feel like it's the family that I want to be with when I'm on the road and see all of the people. I literally was saying the other night on stage, I was like, remember back in the pandemic when they said we couldn't hang out with our families? They said we actually couldn't see our families for a year. Wow, those were the good old days.
I think we may have discussed this before, but if not, your stand-up is huge on TikTok right now. And so I'm wondering if that has ended up, as far as your audience is concerned, is your audience trending younger these days as a result?
It's interesting. There are younger people showing up, which is very cool. It's like, because their parents already know me, and now the young people know me. And also when I was doing the NPR show, when I was doing Live From Here, which was the Prairie Home thing, that was another thing that the whole family could listen to. So the coolest thing is when people come up and it's like the mom and the dad and 2 15-year-olds, and it's like, it's very cool. Casey, actually, you tipped me off on the TikTok trend that was happening for a while.
Yeah, you're talking about growing people, and
you'd see it constantly on the stream. You still do, yeah.
I had this line. I made my own people. Have you ever made your own people? I've made my own people, and I'm their leader. And all of these moms started taking it and lip syncing it, and like showing their kids like doing like picking their nose or scratching their ass. And they're like, have you made your own people? I have. And it became this trend. I was like, the joy of being able to tell my 16-year-old daughter that I was a trend on TikTok.
Top that.
Yeah.
Tom,
she was so angry.
And you know, we're all kind of students of comedy and fans of comedy, and I love, just like everybody else in the room, the Netflix special was therapeutic and funny. But when you watch something at home, you usually like kind of chuckle to yourself a little bit, maybe laugh if you're watching with somebody, but there's not like the double over laughter that you get at a live experience. And so I love going to clubs. I love going to like the Keswick and seeing comedy shows there. I've seen, I saw Saget there. I saw Mike Birbiglia. So I'm curious as to like when you perform live, getting that type of reaction versus getting the, hey, that made me laugh type of thing, like actually seeing people laugh. You know the difference that I'm trying to explain?
Yeah, no, it's a huge thing. I was talking about this the other day, that I feel like we need to have a return of comedies, film.
Yeah.
Like when we were kids, they were throwing so much comedy at us, like A comedies, B list, C list. They were just showing Ernest Goes to Camp and Revenge of the Nerds. I mean, they just kept throwing comedies at us, and a lot of them were terrible. But we all went to the movie theater and sat there and watched. And when there's this weird thing with human beings and this energy that connects us. And when you're in a theater and you hear someone else laugh, and then you laugh, and then it connects to the other person, and it's contagious.
It's communal. Yeah, it's great.
It really catches. When I do shows, I do like these corporate shows sometimes, where a company like Microsoft will hire me to go do their thing. And the thing that they always screw up, which I literally have in my contract, is no dance floor. Like, you have to have people starting at the stage. They used to put like a big dance floor, and just that gap between me and the audience. Like, if you take 10 feet, you've killed it. You've killed the electricity chain.
Right.
So but if you have the people up to the stage, that.
Around a quarter after each hour, we would pass along a special word that might get you some very important tickets. All right, it's time for Preston and Steve Ticket Blitz for the birds. All right, we give you a word. You enter that word through PrestonandSteve.com, and you will automatically be entered to possibly win these tickets, which we will give away tomorrow morning. So our final keyword for today is kick. K-I-C-K. And you enter that at PrestonandSteve.com. Don't text it. We're not doing a text. This is not the secret text word. It's not that. It's a totally different thing. You have to go to PrestonandSteve.com. Take that keyword and enter it there, and then you'll be in the running for the tickets. So 5 more opportunities to get registered for this tomorrow morning, and then we will give those tickets away for Sunday. And it's not just tickets to the game. You get a pair of Philly Sports Trips tailgate passes, too. And that'll feature appearances from former players and performance by Snack Time and food and drinks, and a heated tent as well. So good luck to you, friend. In the meantime, we're going to give something else away. We have today's lesson question, and the prize, not too shabby, pair of tickets to see Metallica. Sunday, May 25th at the Link. And the question that I think we will go with is, who was the capo on Small Wonder? 215-263 WMMR. It actually wasn't that long ago. We just did it like a half hour ago. This was uttered. So who was the capo on the show Small Wonder? If you heard it, you know the answer. You need to call us now, 215-263 WMMR.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, we'll get some stories, and then we'll get our winner. Steve, what's going on this morning?
Well, Kim Kardashian teasing her, quote, secret new boo in the trailer for her family's reality show. Kim says it's been easier keeping this boyfriend a secret because no one cares.
Oh, my God.
Brody Jenner revealing Caitlyn Jenner tried to awkwardly apologize for being an absentee father while the two played Pebble Beach. Brody said it took Caitlin being on a golf course to find some balls. And finally, it looks like Ocean's 14 is a done deal now that George Clooney and Brad Pitt are on board. From what we know, the new installment involves Ocean's crew stealing your fond memories of the first movie. And that's your Hollywood Trash.
All right, let's see if you know the answer to this question. Who was the capo on the show Small Wonder? 215-263-WMMR. First caller in was Tim, so we'll go to him and let him take a shot at it. Hi, Tim. Good morning, bud.
Hi, Grandma.
Hi, Grandma.
All right, so who was the capo on Small Wonder?
Vicky.
Yeah, the robot, Vicky. Hang on, Tim. We are going to give you a pair of tickets to see Metallica Sunday, May 25th, and we're excited. The show's at the Link, and it's the M72 World Tour with Pantera and Suicidal Tendencies opening the second show. Single-day tickets for both shows, May 23rd and 25th, are on sale now via Ticketmaster, and it's a no-repeat weekend with 2 different sets performing in the round with different openers each night. Congratulations to you.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Brought to you by United Tire and Service for all of your car repair needs and the best tire prices. Trust United Tire and Service to provide friendly and transparent service. And UnitedTire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United. Just a couple of things to mention. I think I have 2 stories here. We'll start with this one. The 2025 Songwriters Hall of Fame inductees have been announced. So these are, it says inductees and then it says nominees. So I don't know which this is. Nominees, I think it's inductees. Include the Beach Boys' Mike Love, country music songwriter Ashley Gorley, Rodney Darkchild Jenkins, and Tony McCauley. Funk icon George Clinton is also included.
Wow. Yeah.
And finally, the Doobie Brothers, Tom Johnston and Michael McDonald, and Patrick Simmons.
Deservedly so.
All nominated as well. Additional special award honorees are set to be announced soon. The induction ceremony is set for June 12th at the Marriott Marquis Hotel in New York City. And I looked up one of these names. They have the list of songs that a bunch of these people have written. I'll go through a few of these, but George Clinton, obviously, Atomic Dog and Flashlight. I love that song. I'd Rather Be With You, Give Up the Funk. From the Doobie Brothers, Tom Johnston, Michael McDonald, Patrick Simmons. They wrote together Listen to the Music, Taking It to the Streets, Black Water, What a Fool Believes, Long Train Running, all these great songs.
Amazing.
Then once you get into the country stuff, I don't really know my way around there at all. But then you have Mike Love, California Girls, Good Vibrations, The Warmth of the Sun, I Get Around, Fun, Fun, Fun. And then the gentleman, Tony McCauley, who I mentioned, I didn't know his name, but he wrote Build Me Up Buttercup.
Oh, wow.
Which I love that song.
Yeah.
Why don't you build me up, Buttercup, baby, just to let me down? I love that too.
The Foundations.
He also wrote a few others. He wrote I Didn't Get to Sleep at All. Is that I Didn't Get to Sleep at All last night? That's Tossing and Turning, though, right? Is that a different song?
I don't know.
It's called Last Night I Didn't Get to Sleep at All. So I don't know.
Oh, how about this? No. Last night I didn't get to sleep at all.
Oh.
You know the song?
Yes.
Yeah. Who sings that?
The Fifth Dimension?
Maybe.
Does that sound right? And
It might be.
Steve, the backing crew on that was the Wrecking Crew.
Oh, wow. Of course. Yeah.
That would have been, in the early.
I think I'd say that's a great song.
That's got to be it. Yep. In the 70s. And he had Baby Now That I Found You. And a bunch of other hits. So,
okay. He can stay.
And Love Goes When My Rosemary Grows. Love grows when my rosemary goes.
Rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me.
That showed up in Shallow Hal, and Build Me Up Buttercup showed up in
another Ben Stiller movie. Something About Mary,
Something
right?
About Mary, yeah, both Farrelly brothers
At the end,
the closing credits.
Yeah. I probably know that song. I just don't know from how you're singing it. The
Because I'm
Rosemary.
terrible at singing it. Yeah.
Who did it? Do we know?
No, I don't.
Edison Lighthouse.
Edison Lighthouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the lyrics. Funny and lies are kind of funny and
It sounds so familiar. I'm not quite nailing it.
Where my rosemary goes.
Casey's going to pull it back. I'll mention something else in the meantime, and we'll get that song. So there's a treat coming tomorrow for Lincoln Park fans. The band has announced that an a cappella, vocals-only version of their latest album, From Zero, is releasing tomorrow.
A cappella?
Interesting.
A cappella?
The album features the band's new lead singer, Emily Armstrong. I really dig her voice, whose vocals will be unaccompanied along with Mike Shinoda's on the new version of the album, released in November. Yeah, pretty weird. But they're going for it. All right, this is...
Love grows where my rosemary goes something.
Okay. Yeah, where is
She ain't got the money, her clothes are kind of funny, her hair is kind of wild and free. Oh, boy, love grows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me.
Sound familiar?
Vaguely, just a little bit. And I love this on Wikipedia. The genre is soft rock or bubblegum.
Bubblegum rock, yeah.
Is the way that we put in there. There was a old collection I had that was called AM Gold and was filled with stuff like
like
this.
that. Yeah.
I loved it.
I love this stuff.
It's fun to spend some time with. Yeah. All right. And then was there another song we were singing?
Fill me a buttercup.
Well, no. Last night I didn't get to sleep at all.
Oh,
can you pull that up?
Last night I didn't get to sleep at all.
I think I know that tune.
That's the Fifth Dimension we're thinking?
Yeah. Yes, I think so.
Okay.
And I think it's Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis.
Oh, I love you, honey.
It's called AM Gold.
Oh, I totally remember that. Yes. Keep it playing for a moment. How much would you expect to pay for a collection like this?
Songs that got you through those breakups. The heartache.
Back up. I just want to sway.
It's awesome.
When you hear this.
Now on one amazing record collection for just $100 million.
Made it to number 2 on the Easy Listening chart, the Billboard charts.
Easy listening.
I can remember.
Easy 102 was a radio station in St. Louis. Yeah.
Easy 102.
Easy 102.
Playing the songs you're not sure you like.
But you listen anyway, because you're at the doctor's office.
Reach the radio because you're incapacitated from some horrific spinal cord injury. Maybe your bionic nurse will change it when she arrives later at 2 o'clock, but now you're all ours, bitch.
Oh, I expect the voiceover people on those stations. Easy 102.
The same crap you've been listening to every goddamn day.
No, but
don't worry, death will come in and whisk you away.
There are times that I do crave a little bit of that.
Listen, so why I do is this is the kind of stuff the classic radio on top of the refrigerator my mother used to listen to.
Oh, yeah.
She was making breakfast for us in the morning with WGSM in Long Island, New York, AM station. That's where you'd hear this stuff.
Okay.
And Steve, did you have any idea that the Wrecking Crew were the backing musicians on that song?
But any time that, Nick, you saw the documentary.
Yeah,
there
it's
was
so
rarely was there anything that didn't have them on it.
Amazing.
Yeah. They wanted, and the reason they did that too is because they were studio musicians and they played it right the first time and it didn't take too much time, so it didn't cost too much money.
Yeah, and it was work.
Yeah.
They're just looking for sessions.
For people who don't know, Brian Wilson and the Wrecking Crew were basically the Beach Boys for the longest, and then the Beach Boys would go on tour and sing the music, and they come and do the vocals.
They come bring in and do the harmonies.
Right.
That's the signature sound of the Beach Boys. But the music put together, the instrumental, that was the Wrecking Crew. Yeah, very talented. All right, that is all we'll do in music news. We'll take a break. We'll come back in a second and wrap up our program. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve.
Energy will connect to those people, which will spread through the theater.
Yeah. Hey, do you pick up on distinct laughers in the crowd? Because some people really stand out with their laugh. And if so, do you kind of target them if you can?
Yeah, well, I don't target them, but it's definitely conscious. And the thing that I have to do is remind myself that just accept it as a real laugh.
Okay.
Because when I was starting and I would hear someone like, the insecurity was they're fake laughing.
Right,
They're mocking,
right.
They're mocking me, and then I would attack them, and everyone in the audience is like, "What are you doing that for? He likes the show the best." And I'm like, "He's not real."
There are some people that have that ha 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 like cartoon, like it's written out ha ha ha,
like the
laughter.
Frankenstein monster has learned to laugh.
Exactly, but that's how they laugh. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I'll have to like say something just to get it off my chest. Like, something like I don't know. Thanks for bringing you Thanks for bringing your pet seal or whatever.
I wonder what percentage of your audience now too, because you've got. You've built obviously the podcast and your various shows and all the things you're involved with. Have you ever done sort of a casual breakdown of who's there and what they're there? What was their entree to getting into Tom Papa?
I know. I'm always so curious about it, but it's weird to just like stop in the middle of a comedy show and be like, okay, we're going to take a little survey now. Who here drove more than 2 hours? More than 2 hours? Where did you? Because it really is it is a mystery, and I kind of like that it is a mystery.
Right.
But there's times when I'll go play like a performing arts center, and I know these people are like parents, they've got families and stuff, and I know they're not on TikTok. I know they're not even on Twitter.
Right.
And I'm like, and I've been tweeting about my show all week. I'm like, how did you find out that I was here if you're not on Twitter?
Right.
You know what I mean? You guys don't use Instagram? Where did you come from? I don't know. I think it's just a combination of everything, I guess, over the years.
Well, it's almost like we've been digital, but we re-embraced some analog technology. We remember that, yes, the word used to get out, regardless of social media.
Yes.
And so that is something that is every bit as important. I mean, we here with terrestrial radio, which is still, the big mofo, it's still...
Yeah.
It still has something that connects in a very soundtrack of your life kind of way, and your podcast and your shows, they all have a regular radio feel to it. You don't want to get
it's that sense of community,
right?
It's that thing of like we belong to something. Everybody wants that. Everybody wants to know that we belong to something, and I think that's what's lost in some markets when they don't have really strong local radio. It's such a shame because you look forward to like, oh, the band is coming to our town.
Yeah.
Oh, we're celebrating this thing this week. We're getting together and looking for his eye patch.
Why was I even wearing that? But you're right. And then when a band would come to town and they were playing your city and they would mention the last town, I was like, oh, them. like an old girlfriend, because
boo.
Only him, boo. Do you remember a time when? I mean, I know we've mentioned the George Carlin picture behind you, and I know he's very important, to you. Do you remember a time as an audience member where you had that gasping, doubled over moment where you were responding to a comedian on stage?
You mean in the past? Like
for your entire life.
Yeah,
I'll give you a good broad time frame.
Comedy's such a funny thing that like you could just be watching a bunch of people, especially like on YouTube now.
Yeah.
Like I'll watch different people at different times, and you're just like you said, like, oh, that's funny, you just kind of chuckle. And I watched John Panette a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And remember John Panette?
Yeah.
Man, he just hooked me. And I'm alone in my room, just literally, he got me. He and every line was making me laugh harder, and I was trying not to laugh so I could hear the next line. And I was like, oh man, this is such a beautiful thing. This guy just up there yelling about corn dogs. But I always tend to, I like stuff like Carlin, and I love like stuff that has a little meaning to it, but
right.
I also love, that was the thing I liked about Carlin, was that he also combined it with being very silly.
Yeah.
Like in Carnegie Hall, like he would be talking about something heavy and political, and all of a sudden he's pretending he's a crab walking across the stage.
That's great.
I'm always attracted to silly because I have a very low IQ.
Robert Klein was I remember seeing Robert Klein when I was in college, and that was it. What you just described. There was, he didn't dismiss that part of the audience that would respond well to that, as because it's. I'm sure you design your act in a way to hit different group. You want to hit the largest group, but you also want to have people go, "That was for me."
Yeah, I mean, you can't really plan it. You just gotta kind of do what you think is funny.
Right.
You just gotta do, like, if it makes you laugh, and then all of a sudden it hits with a couple people, and you can't really plan out, like, I want to try and get this group, because like you said, I don't even know who's out there.
Right.
I don't know who's in the audience. It could just be,
Shriners.
Or all stoners. I have no idea.
Do you still pop into the clubs in L.A. when you're working on material and stuff? And how often?
Yeah. I'm going to the Comedy Store tonight. That's where I've been going mostly, is Comedy Store in Largo.
I'm so jealous of New Yorkers and L.A. people, because you just go to a club on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, and it's like, it's Tom Papa.
A marquee name.
Like 10 marquee names in one night. That's just, to me, it's mind-blowing.
It is pretty. I know they always, the Comedy Store always takes a picture of the lineup and posts it, and all the comments are like kids from Kansas, like, God, what's wrong with me? Why do I live here?
Well, we do have our
I wanna
moments.
be in LA.
You can go into a restaurant here on any given night and see Jervis from the first season of Survivor.
Yeah.
Ooh, no way. See, you really, it's bad enough I can't be in the studio with you. Now you got to throw that at me.
So I'm looking at some of the guests that you've had on your podcast, and I wanted to ask about, because growing up, I watched short attention span theater, the half-hour comedy hour. I loved all of that stuff. And so you would see just snippets of all these comedians, and Judy Gold was one of them. Yeah. And is she known as the Holla Queen?
The Holla Queen?
Or is that just because it's on the Breaking Bread podcast?
Holla. Yeah. Oh, man. For a minute, I thought you were making some Holocaust joke.
No. Oh, God, no.
Listen, people, Casey's Holocaust material is amazing.
Oh, my God.
And you think, this is just going to go south, but the way he finesses it.
When he sent me that text at 4:30 this morning, he was like, wait till you see the Holocaust joke I've got for you today. No, yes, challah, the bread challah.
Yeah.
Yes, Judy Gold is amazing making challah bread. I had no idea. I love Judy to death. She's one of my favorites. She's such a force. I put her in my live shows in New York, and I came on. She came on to the Breaking Bread podcast, and her background that she put for Zoom was one giant piece of challah that she had made.
So talking about that time in my life when I watched a lot of short attention span theaters, she had a punchline that, like, I mean, what was this, like 1989? How many years later, 32 years later, I still remember the punchline. It was silly. She was talking about getting changed in a dressing room, and the lady opens up the curtain, and she says, like, I don't need your help. Like, I'm naked with a belt on. And I don't know why that.
Beautiful song from Mr. Petty on 93.3 WMMR, Never Be You. It is 10:35 on a Thursday morning with Preston and Steve Show. You know what that means. No Sad Bro has
It is.
It has arrived. And it'll be Happy Bro all the way around if you end up winning the tickets for the game this weekend at the link. So tomorrow morning, we will start anew with the Preston and Steve Ticket Blitz keyword, and we'll do that as close to 6:15 as we can. We did it like 6:23 this morning to start off with. So in that range, in that between 6:15, 6:30, that's when we will begin that. And don't miss a single chance for you to enter, because the more chances that you get on, the more entries you get on board, the better your chance of winning the tickets.
It's true, yeah.
And then you get to go to the game, and you can get all the free snow you want. You don't have to spend
Pick it up
$50.
yourself. It's going to be, though, technically they're saying it's going to be 4 degrees above average.
It's going to be comfortable
on Sunday, yeah.
For this time of year. It's going to be 45 is the high on, or 44, 45 degrees on Sunday. So it should be pretty solid. I would like to thank our slew of guests that we had this morning. First of all, Markus Goldman, Markus in the Darkest, and Mark Fineman, who is chairman of the Bike-a-thon, the American Cancer Society Bike-a-thon. Team WMMR just made a donation of $1.7 million, by the way. It was huge, and thanks in part to a gigantic donation. And Casey, you have the info sheet that we had earlier? I tossed mine away. I want to make sure that I give the proper credit to those who deserve it. And that was courtesy of, it doesn't say here.
Son of a bitch.
I've forgotten.
It was. I got it. Ron Hurst.
Yes. Ambulance.
That's it.
Is it BR Ambulance Association or something?
So anyhow, thank you to those guys for coming by this morning. I apologize for not having my information ready to go. Then we had the happiest person on the internet, Peter Mairhofer.
Yes.
Who did a Zoom interview from a beautiful forest in Austria. And he was everything we wanted him to be.
He exceeded what I'd hoped he'd be.
Yeah, he was. He has a funny sounding voice.
Yes,
but he is an unbelievable, naturally upbeat guy and insanely good looking.
Well, he is, and the fact that he just has that wonderful and he says he gets compared to a lot of characters in Frozen.
Well, the main character is the summer blowout because he sounds like this.
Guys, look where I am now.
Isn't
it so beautiful? I mean, where am I?
So, he's excellent. You need to follow him on Instagram or TikTok. He was great. And his handle is Peter_Mai, M-A-I _ and you'll find him. He's a great follow. And then we had Ari Shaffir on.
Hey, Ari.
He's fantastic. His latest special is on Netflix, and it's called America's Sweetheart. So it was cool to catch up with him. And then we have Michael Imperioli and also Steve Schirripa from The Sopranos. Hey. And they are in town, and they were in a great mood. They're going to be in Wilmington February 1st. For a Sopranos live event, and they come out and they tell stories, and then there's a Q&A, and anything is on the table.
And they've been doing it long enough. They say they have a great, no doubt, because the podcast is super popular, but I know the events themselves have been really well received.
Yep, so it's cool to have them on. All right, we need to do today's letter of the day. Ready, man?
I got you.
All right.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
And the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter
A, as in Alvarez.
All right, and we will give away a pair of floor tickets to the world's most exciting combat sport, bare knuckle fighting, and the championships on Saturday at the Wells Fargo Center. And you can watch Philly's own Eddie Underground King Alvarez fight Jeremy Stevens with no gloves Stevens. And limited tickets remain. You can get yours at bkfc.com, by the way. I'll take a moment to thank our sponsors. The Preston and Steve Show brought to you today by Dunkin'. Preston and Steve Show runs on Dunkin', and also brought to you by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors. Tomorrow, No Sad Bro will be in full effect. And we will also have our buddy Dov Davidoff in studio. He's always great. And then Sam Morrill will be checking in with us as well. And yes, more of the Preston and Steve ticket blitz for this weekend. That's it. We're done. Rage on. Have a great day. And Pierre Robert is in next. We'll see you later, gang. Bye-bye.
Steve.